Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Mandem Talk. We are live, people. Thursday settings. You know the score, people, man. And it's with great pleasure to be with the Mandem today. You feel me? We got Rance in the building. Rance, how are you doing, bro? Everything blessed?
All good, man. Big up the panel, man.
Come on. Big up to Rance always. Man, like AJ's in the building. What you saying, AJ?
Calm, man. Back again. It's been a minute now.
Yeah, man. Come on, bro. It's been a minute. Staffy, man. What you saying, bro? It's good to see you, man. From the States. What you saying?
Yeah, thanks for having me, bro. Big up to the panel, big up to the chat. Hope everyone's doing well.
Come on, man. And Nuruddin, man, listen, we're being blessed with the sunshine, man. You feel me? Like, maybe we might get a calm Nuruddin today. Who knows, man? You feel me? What you saying, Nuruddin? What you saying? I think
I'm always calm, man. I'm just passionate, bro. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. Come on, man. Come on.
The dictatorship today, Northern.
Yo, I ain't a dictator, bro.
I'm telling you, man.
Find joy, man. Yo, I promise you. In my real life, it's just Man United, man. They do it to me.
Yeah.
In my real life, I'm a joyful person. I promise you.
Yeah, come on, man. Big up to everyone locked in. Listen, man. The title of the video is is no news, good news. You feel me? Because end of the day, obviously we've not been blessed with news regarding the transfers, and I feel like that's been a recurring theme. And I feel like the journalists right now are all just absolutely like they're done out here, bro. Like they even linked us today with Danilo, and I'm like, yo, who the hell is Danilo? He's happy playing in Brazil right now. You feel me? But I think for me right now, as it stands, obviously we still got a lot of positions still to sort out. But I'll start with you, Rance. Do you feel like it's just the way we've been operating this summer, right? Like it's better this way that we don't know anything, because then we've been linked with about 1,000 man in it. So we're gonna always kind of maybe feel let down by the fact that we haven't bought that player there when we've been linked with that player there. You know what I'm saying? Is this the right strategy for you?
It's not really just this summer though. If you look at the last window as well, it was pretty similar. Do you know what I'm saying? It goes from nothing to advanced talks. This is what we've been doing now, maybe for the last couple of windows now. So I think it's a good thing. And to be fair, when the new footballing operations came in, there were a lot of guys that said it's gone dark. There's no more intel. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we were assuming that a lot of the news that was getting broken, or the majority of it, was from players, but obviously there were people in and around the club that either aren't there anymore or have been told that nothing gets out because it's super quiet, bro. Like some of the stuff I read is laughable, bro. Like these men really don't have a clue. Like, they don't have a clue. As soon as the Rodri news to Real Madrid started coming out, all of a sudden Man United want Tchouaméni again. It's like, bro, like, come on, man. Like anyone could have written that. We could have wrote that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I seen that. To be fair, yeah. It's like you're just trying to put two and two together, innit?
But
like,
that's it. And they're getting 22 every single time, bro.
Yeah.
Like nobody's been close. The two signings that we signed, we only found out it was advanced talks. Like I would even say the Tielemans one was pretty much a done deal by the time we found out. Do you know what I'm saying? So the fact that that's happened, same with the Santos one, and that's Chelsea and Aston Villa. Those are dealing with our peers as well. It's not like we're dealing with the bottom end of the table. So the fact that that didn't get out, it just shows you that nobody really knows what these guys are doing. And if we do know, it's because they want us to know. But why do they want us to know? Because maybe they're trying to throw people off the scent.
To play devil's advocate, though, do you not feel like because they threw their hands at Anderson and Matheus Fernandes and not got them, maybe they're like, you know what, let's just switch this now and then go this way? Because then, therefore, we might actually get these players through the door. So obviously, they put out there that they wanted Anderson, they wanted Matheus Fernandes. They were our kind of like signings that we wanted. Obviously, we didn't go for them, and rightly so, because of the fee that was involved. Maybe they've looked at it for, you know what, let's just change the strategy up and say, you know what, let's go down this route. And it has worked. I think for me, I'm all for it because end of the day, these journalists, bro, they're not credible. Like, man, I'm saying like that Simon Lucas guy, bro. Like, what sources does he have? Like, seriously, who the hell is he speaking to that he knows about Tchouaméni? Like, what the hell, bro? You know what I'm saying? But like, seriously, man, who the hell is he speaking to get news about Tchouaméni, bro? Like, it's not gonna happen, bro. So then when I seen it, I just felt it was a disrespect, man. And I feel like obviously people are gonna be buying into that, and it's their choice, isn't it? It's like now the man are trying to tell me to go check Simon Stone for Danilo. I'm like, bro, what do you know about Danilo in Brazil? Like, if you told me about Brazilian source, I'd be like, you know what? Fair enough. Brazilian source may be giving you a better outlook on what's going on. Fair enough. But Simon Stone about Danilo in Botafogo, what does he know about that?
But even the players you mentioned, Saeed, about Anderson and Fernandes, we don't know, when the United line stops and the agent line starts. You get what I'm saying? Because remember, I was saying to you the whole time, we're not getting Anderson. Like, Anderson wants to go Man City, but it's in Man City's interest to make it's in Nottingham Forest's interest to make Manchester City believe that Man United are still in for him because they can get more money. Do you know what I mean? I think as soon as United knew that Anderson, his first choice was City, I believe that they left the conversation, bro, but they still dragged our name through it because it raises his price. And in the end, they got their money. So, and do you know what I'm saying? So this is what happens. We don't know what's coming from other people's agents and what's actually coming from the club. A lot of the time, we're getting fed stuff by agents, bro. Like, man, we're really supposed to sit here and believe that Real Madrid, PSG, Arsenal, Man United were all in for Fernandes and he ended up at Tottenham. Like, are we that dumb?
Bro, it's broski. Like, I think, obviously, you know my opinion about John Mendes, isn't it? Like, yeah, I mean, this
bro,
guy.
Mendes was pulling everyone's leg, bro. That's
facts. That's what I'm saying.
What happened with, what's his name? The Wolves midfielder.
Which one? João Gomez.
João Gomez.
Yeah,
remember, he's meant to go at Atleti,
yeah.
And then the agent fucked them over. So they pulled out the deal.
Yeah. And then he obviously went to Fingy in it as well.
Yeah. So now he's at Aston Villa because Mendes screwed the man over, bro, and brought Bernardo to to what do you call it? So, this is what he does, isn't it? So we don't know what's coming from the agent and what's coming from the club, but I would assume that the majority of the stuff that we're hearing isn't coming from the club, just based on the way they're moving.
Yeah. Nordy, let me come to you because obviously you've got a different point of view in that you always believe that Ineos maybe feed out the kind of propaganda, should you say? But at the same time, though, this summer, are you surprised though that there's been like radio silence though over like signings or because come on, like, we've not heard anything since the signing of the player. Like there's been nothing already. There's been nothing.
Because what they briefed out is what they've been briefing out, and I understand what Rance is saying about we know the skullduggery in the transfer, in it, like agents, intermediaries, clubs, people's families wanna. Everybody wants to get in on it, and people will talk to whoever they talk to put their agenda across. I mean, the whole thing of Fabrizio Romano, innit? Like, that's why I never really tweet anything that I try not to tweet anything that he says, because we know that he'll pay anybody. He'll pay a cleaner just to get a little bit in news. And he works strictly with agents. You know what I mean? He's the agent mouthpiece.
Did you see the video going around about Fabrizio?
But we've known this before, Rance. Like 2 years ago, he got exposed.
Bro, it's going around now. This Newcastle fan, he posted a video basically saying that some football clubs have said that.
Yeah, I remember.
Basically, Fabrizio was offering his services, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Certain football clubs want it soon because he's the mouthpiece, innit? We know that. So
he's the one that drives transfers like Garnacho. He's the reason why Garnacho is still relevant right now.
To try to drive the price up and that.
Yeah,
he's a gun for hire, bro.
But that's what he does. That's what he does. Everybody knew that from a long time ago. I'm like, how does my guy know all of this information? Why? Because he buys information, right? He buys information, or he's a gun for hire. Exactly. But to me, it's what they briefed in it. The people, we know the journalists who are close to Manchester United and what they were briefing. The brief has always been. And the other aspect of it, I think they're behind this brief about Chouameni, this obsession with Chouameni. I really think that. They might be using it as a tactic to throw off whoever the next deal is or whoever the next signing might be. They might use it as a tactic, but it's what they briefed. And a lot of it is propaganda. A lot of it. I mean, the history. I knew this transfer window wasn't going to be big. Manchester United were not going to spend the money they spent last season. Because even though we need more players, because of the debt refinancing, it's come to that time. And I told you this, I don't know, 2 months ago. So I was telling you about the Glazers having to borrow more money in Ineos now. Having to borrow money to pay to the banks. Because, the original debt which they bought the club on.
Yeah.
That has every decade. That's why the Ronaldo money went to. The Ronaldo 80 million. When we were signing people. So they need a certain amounts of money from the club to private. Other than them putting it in their own pocket, and we know the rest, innit? And you see what Nottingham Forest owner is doing. He's putting his own money in. Other owners are putting their own money in. So aspects of it, for example, the Santos signing, the Tillman. That's how Manchester United used to sign people back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what a club does. That's what a club does. He'll do the work, and then boom, you hear it, boom. But they always love a one that carries on. They always love a one that drags on as well. So for me, I'm just looking at the time, Saeed. I'm saying Premier League starts in a month, if I'm not mistaken. There or thereabouts.
You know what? It starts in
about a month.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at positions, and I'm like, Manchester United still need players, man. We need not just any old players. We don't need just the numbers. We need balance. We need to balance the areas of the pitch that we need for us to go and be able to fight on all fronts next season. So that's the time I'm keeping an eye on. I'm not asked about whatever. There are some, I'm always like, if you're bringing players in, especially if you bring in players from abroad, you need to integrate them. At the moment in time, we've had all the signings have been players from the Premier League. So you would expect they don't need to integrate. They don't need to go, school. They just need to move house, really. Everything else is the same, innit? It's just another city. Leaving London or leaving Birmingham to come to Manchester. But especially if you're signing for players abroad, you need to do them ASAP. The quicker you integrate them into the squad, the quicker you integrate them into pre-season, the quicker way that you think, okay, here's what we want to do, and here's the coach, and here's how we want to play. especially of all summers this summer because of the length of the World Cup, because how long it takes, how short on the preseason really is. So that's what I'm expecting. That's still there to me. They still got hold up, but instead they're picking fights with the club, with the fans. Try to put the fans on the back foot, so the fans are scared. Oh, they might take my season ticket away, and you know the rest. If you know, you know.
Yeah. Course. I mean, listen. Let's talk on these so-called transfer rumors. Obviously, the latest is that Man United are backing for Baleba. Now, I don't know whether that ever went, to be honest with you, and whether Man United always thought that was like an insurance policy. But does Baleba, I go to you, Kootball, does Baleba give you confidence? Are you still thinking that we've forgotten how good he is? Or is he someone like, I think in the past, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's all right, but you feel me? Like, we could do better. Where are you at with Baleba?
Yeah, to be fair, I've been saying it all summer. I think to what we have now, I think he's a perfect player to what we have right now. I think, again, physically, we've spoken about him. We know his qualities. Technically, we know his qualities. I don't think a player that drops in, especially a player of his age category, after one bad season is gone forever. I don't see that, especially under somebody like Michael Carrick. I think, again, Baleba, another thing he does, because Noureddin spoke about balance, he provides that. And then on top of that, he makes every other player that he plays with in midfield better. And he can complement every other player that we have as well. And yeah, the only thing I can only think about, the only negative would probably be whether he's able to handle the pressure. But apart from that, I think he's played in the Premier League. He's another Prem-proven signing. So for me, I would say Baleba or Wharton makes Manchester United better. Like, I also want to look at a team and think that the midfield looks better than it did the previous season, like when you're rebuilding. And I look at Baleba in that midfield and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. Because people have to remember, Kobe Mainoo is another very strong player physically and technically. The same with Yuri Tillmans. So then you've got that, and then you've got Baleba as well. Like Manchester United, you know, they want to build a fortress as well, but those three players in the midfield, I think that's a perfect balance. I think that would be really good on the ball as well, and it seems like Carrick wants to play that way as well. But for me, yeah, I think Baleba would be, that's the kind of player that I want. I think he would kind of like, and distances as well. I think that's another big thing. Playing at Old Trafford a lot, he covers a lot of distance, and I think again, just the qualities he has will be really good. But I just don't know with Man United, man. I feel like that everyone that we think they want, they don't seem to go for like that. So all the names that are always ringing back, I don't know, because why would the Baleba deal take that long? Is it just because the money?
His price it though. They can't treat him the way they treated him and then expect the same amount of money. Same way we have it with our own players or whatever. Like every club, if they don't use or utilize the player well, you know what I mean? Like you can't then expect 100 million.
No, I hear it. You
know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
you should be cheaper, man. But yeah, that's my take. You, by the way, why do you think it's so important to buy wingers? Because you were saying the other day you think it's important to to rebuild the team by first going for wingers, going for defenders.
No, you don't have to first go for wingers, but we need a winger though. We definitely need a left winger though.
Yeah, but you were saying everywhere's just as important, but the midfield is the most important.
The midfield is important, but I still think the way we function, like I think the left-hand side is neglected a little bit, because if we don't believe in the left back that we do, if people say that Luke Shaw is the left that we want and Dog is a left winger, then I still believe left back and left winger, it needs to be connected. So for us to have the midfield is good, but I still think we're always one-sided. So we're always Ahmad. That side looks good, but the left-hand side...
I don't know, Saeed. In my opinion, I think our left side is stronger than our right side.
You think so?
I do.
I do for sure. I think that's better than
No. Dallo, yeah. Koné. Like obviously, if Mazraoui's playing, we might be having a different conversation. But Dallo and Brian, do you know what I'm saying? To me, is not strong.
That's weak.
That's weak to me, bro. The left hand side, Koné. I trust Koné and Luke Shaw more than I trust Dallo and Flipping and Brian.
Oh no,
that's my opinion.
No.
Like,
what do you mean?
Luke, I think Koné's been carrying Luke Shaw. I think Koné on his own.
Koné's our strongest attacker, right now. I can't look at the left side and say it's weak, bro. That would be disingenuous, bro.
I want to say weak, but I'd say for me, Koné was what's the word I'm looking for? Like in terms of the
Well,
flaws.
Koné and Dorgu
was-
were our two best attackers probably last season.
But I agree.
Bro.
But I think
And they both
Koné
played on the
was
left.
doing-
So how can it be the weakest side?
because I still think we don't really attack through that side. If you look at our attack here, it was always on the right hand side. Every time Man United were attacking, for me, this is where I can look at. I don't know whether it's different for everyone else. But the way we always attack here, we're always driven on that. It's true though, because at least with Dallo will actually go forward. Luke Shaw stays where he is. And actually,
you're talking about overload.
You're talking about the cohesion on that
the
side.
cohesion, yes. The cohesion.
Okay, I'm with you, but that's a Luke Shaw problem because he don't really get.
But that's
forward
what I'm saying to you. That's why I said the left hand side is a problem because
I agree.
The cohesion.
Yeah, because Cunha has to do too much sometimes to make something happen, to conjure something. And you saw a lot in the last bit of the season that Bruno was having to go over to the left a lot. Yeah,
to help out. Yeah. But I do agree with you. Midfield is, of course, is the biggest issue. Like, bro, like we're here every week talking about midfielder. You know what I'm saying? It's just whether who that midfielder is. Now, there is reports out there saying that personal terms have been agreed with Manu Koné. I don't know whether they're reliable sources or not. But I think for me, either of them we're happy. If we get a
quick question though. Quick question: does everyone think like Manu Koné is an 8 or 6?
He's a 6.
He's a 6 for me.
Yeah, 6 for me as well.
He's a 6.
He's a 6 for me. He's just a very technically sound number 6, bro. He's not an 8 for me. I don't think he does enough going forward to be an 8. I don't think
he does enough going forward, but he's more of like because he's a ball carrier as well, isn't it? Like he can carry the ball as well. So he's like
he's a double pivot, man. He's a double pivot.
Yeah.
If you play him with a 4-2-3-1, that's a 4.
I think he's a double pivot 6. I don't think he's a single 6.
Like when you saw the Spain game when he came on, and obviously Tchouaméni had a bad game in it, but he struggled a lot without Rabiot there, innit? Like, and I was looking at him because I've seen him play at when he was at Mönchengladbach as well, like before, and I thought he was a 6 then, but then sometimes when I look at him, he almost has like the qualities of an 8 rather than a 6 in it. So that's what I was wondering, innit? Because I don't know if he's a 6, like just a 6 by himself.
No, I just think he's deceptively technical, bro. That's what it is. He's a big guy, and then you see his feet, and you think, yo, you know what I mean? He looks like someone that probably played further forward when he was younger. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's got very good feet, but he's not.
Do you think
he's
Carrick
not an
will go
8
to
for
a
me.
single pivot 6? Like that one. Do you think this season, because he's got a lot of technical players now?
I think
in
at
that
times.
midfield area,
I think
he
at
needs
times.
a better one. He needs somebody that's a little bit better than what he does have now, or a 6. So if he goes for a top level 6, does he go 1 6 2 8?
I don't think so.
Nah,
I think it depends on the game.
Right now. Yo,
I think it depends on the game.
Yeah,
I think once Bruno leaves, I think Carrick will abandon that 4-2-3-1 and go for a 4-3-3 because he seems like he likes fluidity in his midfield. Like that's what they're kind of hinting. You know what I'm saying? So I think that will be the case, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks with Bruno. Like the discipline's just not there, innit? You know what I'm saying? So you have to accommodate him, and I believe that Carrick's been accommodating him. But also Yuri will come in, will get the best out of Bruno going forward. I think Bruno will score more goals. Like Bruno's goals have actually dried up. If you look at his open play goals, like he's not scoring no more. So I think he'll score more with Yuri in the team because he probably felt like he had to drop deeper to try and facilitate more, and that's not his strength to me.
Yeah, but the whole summer is meant to be about complementing each other, innit? You feel me? Now, does a Manu Koné complement Tielemans and a Manu and a Santos, or does a Baleba, who might not be as good as Manu Koné on the ball, but can cover the distance and be that kind of almost engine midfield, which is the three? Now, if the reports are saying what the reports are saying, Carrick is looking to play on the front foot and looking to play with the ball and trying to play out from the back and whatever, then it will be a Manu Koné. It wouldn't be a Baleba, because Baleba's, I think, attributes are maybe off the ball rather than on the ball. I'm not saying he's rubbish on the ball, but that would be the situation there. It's just whether who's for the right price. Again, United have bought for the right price this summer. Santos, whether you like it or not, 50 million is not as big as what people are thinking. And obviously, Tielemans is definitely a 35 million in the market right now. You'd argue it's a bargain, right? So it's a case of go on.
Tielemans performs better higher up the pitch from when I watch him, Like, even if you watch Belgium in the World Cup, his best game was when they pushed him into the 10.
So, I agree.
For Belgium.
for not just for Belgium, for Aston Villa as well. Obviously, when Kamara and Ronaldo were fit, his best performances were when he was playing. Obviously, he's not a natural 10, but a bit
He's
higher
an 8.
up.
He's just an 8, bro.
But he doesn't play as high as what you're trying to say for Aston Villa, though.
Mm.
I'm not saying. What do you mean he doesn't play as high? When they were playing their best football, was Kamara and Arnold, Tielemans in front, Rodgers on the left, McGinn on the right.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is that he doesn't always play that high. Just because
naturally he's a technical player, he will drop in. But what I'm saying is they still had players to accommodate him, and he played his best football in that way. So if he's playing deeper for United, whoever he's next to is going to have to do a lot of dog work.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not if, because they've got Bruno, so you know he's naturally going to be a bit deeper anyway.
That's my concerns.
But concern why though? If you know he's technical, if he's that technical as you say, why would you be so concerned? Because I know Kamara and Onana are not fit for most of the season with Aston Villa. He's had to partner different people a lot of the time in there, and he's looked. Yeah, and they dropped off. They dropped off like they did. So this is what I'm saying.
They did drop off, to be fair.
That's why.
They won the Europa League. He played with Lindelof, my guy.
Yes, that's why they put Lindelof in there. So
no, but what I'm trying to say is
you respect Lindelof, man. Respect Lindelof.
Like even if the team dropped off the level, but he still performed in that position. That's my point.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not going to perform. I'm saying that my concerns are who you're partnering him with.
Yeah. Lindelof.
Bro, it's not about it's not about whether you rate Lindelof as a player. It's about what role did Lindelof do when he was next to Tielemans. They put him in there for a reason because it wasn't working when they had him next to.
I think he kept the ball well though.
Who do you think that United should buy then to partner someone like him?
I agree with the man are making in terms of the profiles you man are talking about, like the Kone and the Baleba. I think that's true. Like I think that's probably what we should go for, isn't it?
But you know what it is though, just to help out.
Can I just add something? You were talking about the individual players. It's the actual system a coach like Unai Emery put together.
Oh yeah, massively.
That actually got the best out of and hides the deficiencies of his players. That's why majority of these coaches devise a system that gets the best out of their players and hides their deficiencies, or has other players that can be there to cover up for the deficiencies of said player who's going to be on the ball, like Tielemans. But Tielemans has to. The idea that it's going to be Santos and Tielemans, United can start the season with Tielemans and Santos or Tielemans and Kobe. Is unless the whole team is going to keep the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
Positionally, everybody's going to be where they need to be to keep the ball. Then I don't see that happening. Manchester, to me, you can say what you want. Say, call me a PlayStation, whatever. Manchester, if you're buying Tielemans and Santos, you need two other midfielders that can get about the pitch and get the best out of them. That can cover up.
Depends. If we're playing counter-attack, Nuruddin, you can have those two players in there. If you're playing counter-attack and you're always sitting behind the football and waiting.
So what happens when they lose the ball and they haven't got the legs to get around the football pitch to cover the space?
One of them sitting. And that's what I was going to talk about. All of these players can play. All of these players can play 6, 8, 10. So if it's Tielemans in the 6 and Kobe's in the 8. You're asking Tielemans to sit back when we do go and venture forward, and you're asking Kobe to drive with the football. I think it's the roles of the players as well. A lot of these players can play 6, 8, 10. Kobe can play 6, 8, 10. Tielemans 6, 8, 10. Andre Santos is quite competent in all three of those positions. So depending on the roles that you give each said player, when they do lose the ball and they're all in the opposition's half, like you're saying, Nuruddin, depending on which one's sitting back, he's got to be able to watch the spaces and then defend from there.
Yeah, but also pace doesn't deal with that. Pace doesn't deal with that.
Listen, it's not about pace, it's about positioning and know.
Precisely.
So if you've not played to that level, if you haven't got the ground
but you've just contradicted your point.
No. So for me, listen, what I mean by legs, you define. So let me define what I mean by legs.
Sure. Okay.
So let me define what I mean by legs. I don't mean legs like fucking McTominay, who's somebody who can run about the fucking football pitch. I'm talking about somebody that can read a game, that can scan, that can put out passing lanes, that can pre-see a counter or can pre-see a player losing the ball, then get himself in position. A player
that's Sanderberg for me. That's not Baleba.
No, let me finish. So a guy, so you can have the attributes can interchange, but it's about scanning. Whether they're your pace or your agility or your agility or dynamicism gets you there. It's about how you got there. Not like, unless then we just get fucking Mo Farah and we're done out here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that counteracts your...
I'm talking about somebody who
football intelligence,
have the capability, but also has the stamina and the energy to be able to get around to put the fires out where it needs to be put out. And anytime you see Tielemans, that is where you get the best out of it. That is where you, if you're going to use Tielemans as the ball playing midfield player, you need somebody that can do that, that can
100%.
get about, and that can hide his deficiencies. 100%. That is what we're talking about. So when you come in, bro, and big up, by the way, not seen you for a long time. When you tell me they can play, to me, that sounds a lot of waffle to me. 6, 10, and 8. No, what I'm talking about is game situations. I'm not talking about what position you can fill in for whatever. And also, I want to add, if you've got fullbacks that can get up and down, fullbacks that can squeeze, or wingers that can come inside to help out when you lose the ball as a team. Because the thing about it is that this idea, this notion in modern football that only 1 or 2 players can defend. No, the whole team is defending. What the team's off the ball, the best coach teams, the whole team is defending. That's why Tielemans looked good in a Villa system, because Unai Emery's system is high line, it squeezed the play in some parts, it set traps in some parts, and in some parts, right, when they get into this area, that's where we're going to go, right? So for me, it's about the system and how you devise. And in a World Cup year where the preseason is not as much because you're not going to have all of the players, right? I find that very difficult to believe that you got Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, who's going to start the season, and you've got maybe, I don't know, whoever centre back that starts with them. That they've already devised a plan and a system that is without buying somebody else that can actually hide the deficiencies. And that's what we were talking about originally, about the balance. Football is always been, there are certain things that I can't do, even at a basic level that some of you, man, we've all played at. There's certain, when you play in a team, there's certain things that I can do better. There's certain things that you can do better than me. So you fill in, and that's the whole team thing is, you fill in where I'm not so great at, and I'll fill in, or I'll take the ball where get the best out of what I've got in the system. So that's what we're talking about. So it's not just about even having people positioning. And I believe that at times at Old Trafford, do I see Tielemans and Kobe on the pitch, right? Or Tielemans or Kobe, especially when we're going to look for a goal or when we're playing against a team that we've hemmed in. Yes. But in the away games, you need dynamicism. You need the same thing. Like Ugarte was trash on the ball. Go and do me a favor and watch the game, Man City versus Manchester United, where Ahmad got the.
He had a purpose. He had a purpose
because he knew exactly where he was going to be in the position.
As bad as he was.
In terms of positioning, in terms of how to win the ball back, in terms of who to go after. Was it Rodri who was on the ball for City?
Do this, Nuruddin.
No, they cannot do it as better and as much because he's better. Why are you getting Tielemans to do that where he's not great at? You want him to do the things that he's good at. That's what you want him to do.
Yeah, but Tielemans is not bad at. He's not bad at ball recoveries. He's not. No, he's actually not.
His stats.
No, I understand that. Listen,
bro, he's not bad at it, but it's the way you have him doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
but again, that comes down to the system. Like the one thing about what Michael Carrick has done, that was very different to Ruben Amorim is if you look at the positions of the players, everyone's closer together. You saw how close Kobe and Cass were together. That's why all of a sudden Casemiro can't run wasn't a problem anymore.
Yeah.
So we've seen that Michael Carrick likes to be compact.
Position off the ball is elite.
What's that?
Like, we all know that Casemiro, in terms of his defensive positioning, is elite. That's something we know.
Precisely. However, it also helps.
But all they did to help out was with Casemiro. Like we were screaming, and even Ten Hag did it. Remember, before we played City in the cup final, the last 4 games of that season, what did he do? He compact. When the team gets compact and there's hardly any gaps, then nobody's going to get exposed in that sense. You're not going to be exposed to as much, but you were still, and there were games where still, even how defensively elite Casemiro was, we were getting, because he was hunting the ball down under the system of Carrick. He was actually going beyond Kobe. At times, Kobe was the player.
Are we underplaying then? No, so right now, are you underplaying what Tielemans could do or what Carrick
I'm not underplaying anything.
No, I'm saying what Carrick could do, what Carrick could do
I'm not, because,
to help the best out of them.
Listen, to me, that the point of that, I am making an educated assessment.
Okay.
I've told you, not that much time in the preseason.
Yeah.
That much time in looking at the game model. Carrick and his coaching staff haven't devised the game model. You know, a World Cup, yeah, or Euros, yeah, when there's a big competition, you're not going to get the much time as you are when there's no Euros or no World Cup. You have more time in preseason because players are not going holiday. Even though I'm seeing, I don't know if it's fake or whatever, but I'm seeing like some of the Barcelona or the Spain players already back in training, which is mad to me. Like, players will go on holiday, but I'm seeing pictures that some of the World Cup winners go back at Barcelona, back at, you know, Bilbao, whatever. That's what I'm seeing. So I don't know what's going on there. But
it's just a little like, you know,
hello.
Before they go on holiday.
What happens if the game model's the exact same from last season with Carrick?
Well, the game model.
He's just trying to upregulate and improve it. He's, you know,
the players
not that much of a massive drop off from Casemiro to Andre Santos. Maybe defensively, but legs wise, it's a little bit of a plus.
No, and know-how and an experience
in the wing areas. I know Saeed.
Let him land.
I know Saeed was saying that he needs wingers, that he thinks we need wingers, but Rashi's here. So you've got another winger, and I like Koné and Dorgu as two left-sided options.
We need fullbacks,
and Ahmad and Brian as two left-sided options. So we have wingers. We just need to have another fullback that joins the attack.
We need fullbacks. We need a centre back, and we need a midfield that has got the dynamic and a know-how positionally to put fires out before they start. That's what we need.
We might have enough centre backs, in my opinion.
Nah.
We
might. Let me say something now. You want to play Tielemans as a 6, yeah? I promise you. If you want,
no, I don't think anyone said that, AG.
No, bro. Marcel said it, bro. He said Tielemans 6.
I think what Marcel was trying to say is that all the players are comfortable,
comfortable
in each part of the pitch. That's what he meant. I don't think he meant that Tielemans was going to play 6, 8, 10. I don't think that's not how I interpreted it. How I interpreted it was he was saying that all of the midfielders are comfortable, in each third of the pitch, which I agree with.
Okay,
I don't think he's going to line man up there.
Even if you play the midfielders like that, I'll be real. You need to have 2 centre backs that you can trust, especially if you're trying to play high up the pitch. I'm not comfortable with, especially when we already don't really trust the fullbacks like that. You can't then have 2 centre backs that aren't dominant like that. I don't really trust the centre backs we have, even if you obviously we extended Maguire. We've spoken about that.
Was we playing Highline last season? Was we playing Highline last season?
At times, but at times not. It was. I'll be real. It changed at times. The times I did see us play Highline, I seen some mistakes. I'll be real.
Against dominant, when we're dominant on the football, I think naturally we're gonna camp in their half as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Then I understand what you're saying. You're gonna need pace to go the other way, intelligence, like what Nuridan's saying, to see that to put out fires while the transition's happening. I get that. All teams have to deal with that when you're the dominant force. But more time, Carrick's setting up in a mid-block situation. It's quite compact. He's setting traps like what Saeed, I think, was saying before, or someone else was saying before, in terms of setting traps, like what Emery does. He tries to do, and everyone's close together. And it was relatively decent football. It kind of just needed better footballers doing it.
Just needed more technical quality on the ball.
But we have enough centre backs for doing what he's currently doing, I think. They just need to be fit.
I'll be honest, if we defended identically, to how we defended last season, but you massively raised the technical floor, the football looks completely different. It looks completely different, bro. Our main problem was that we couldn't keep hold of the ball when we got it, bro, and that was down to the lack of technical quality. I don't think that's down to, like, a manager can set you up off the ball, and defensively, in most games, I felt pretty comfortable.
If you naturally, if you're playing the percentages further up the pitch here, naturally you will leave spaces behind. So we're gonna have to see how the dynamic.
But that's about the shape. That's about the shape. That's about the rest defense. That's about how you set up off the ball. That's not about pace.
It's not about pace. It's not just pace though. It's not just off the ball. I'm talking about in general with our CBs, and that's why I use the word dominant, because if you look at when Carrick first came in the first 2 games we had. The big difference between then and probably towards the end of the season was the fact that Lissandro wasn't in the back 4. Now, we know Lissandro's injured again, and for some people here, they don't even want Lissandro to be playing. But at the end of the day, when you look at some of the other centre-backs that we have, I know Heaven is good on the ball, but there's a different level in technicality between Heaven and Lissandro as for now, innit? If you want the midfielders who are technical to be able to get on the ball in the areas that you want midfielders to pick up the ball higher up the pitch, you need centre backs that are better on the ball than what we're going to have available at the start of the season. Our available centre backs are Yoro, Maguire, and Heaven.
Yeah. Let me get in Staffy. Obviously, big up to everyone locked in. By the way, 2.6K in the building. Please do hit the like button. You know what I mean? There's only 400 likes right now, so let's get these likes up. What do you reckon, Staffy? Which side are you on? Is it the side of where Marcel's thinking, or is it you need a balance of both?
I mean, Marcel is not wrong when he says Tielemans is going to play the 6. Tielemans is going to play the 6 a lot when we're on the ball. I think for people forgetting that Kobe Manu did that last season. Yeah. And he did that while sharing the pitch with Casemiro. It doesn't mean that he's a sitting 6 that just sits there to break tackles and track back and all that stuff. That's not going to be the case. Tielemans is going to help us going forward. He's going to help us with the build-up. He's very diverse. And when you see the way Carrick has been talking about how he wants to play, you shouldn't be surprised by signing someone like Tielemans, because he's going to help you on the front end. He's going to help you in the first phase. He's going to help you in every phase. And that's one of the things that that we kind of needed last season. I didn't like seeing Bruno so many times drop up to pick up the ball, and that's just not his role. Like, you want Bruno in that midfield as further forward as possible. And that's when you get the best out of him. That's when you get all the G&A. Durant was talking about his lack of goals and all that. I'd honestly say a lot of it is due to him playing deeper in the pitch, especially in the beginning of the season. So Tielemans solves a lot that for you. I do think one of our issues, though, if you don't sign a Baleba, is the back line. I don't remember who just mentioned it. Someone just mentioned it a few minutes ago. But I do think that's a big problem, because we've seen, especially in the World Cup, we've seen a lot of people wake up to the whole, they were saying what, technicians over electricians, basically trying to say, like, I don't care about runners if my whole team can keep the ball. We seen Spain concede 1 goal all World Cup. Now, granted, by the way, that is international football. I understand the difference, but they conceded 1 goal the whole World Cup, not because their defense is just wow, like they're so amazing. It's mainly because all of them can keep the ball from the goalkeeper to the front line. And I do think Carrick wants to implement a lot of that, especially in his midfield. But that does leave you with an issue in your backline. I do think our backline lacks athleticism, and they lack a lot of 1v1 defending. You cannot go and play that style of football if you want when you have someone like Lissandro in the backline. I'm sorry to upset people.
Oh, here comes Lissandro slander. I knew it was coming. Man.
I mean, you can glaze him all you want. That midget is a liability for as long as he's been at this club. He's been a fucking liability.
He's still one of our most technical players.
I don't care how good his passes are. When you're losing duels like a fucking attacker does, you have literally those type of numbers as a center back. I have to call it up for what it is. So if I have 2 demons at least that we can develop in maybe Heaven and Euro, because I know they can physically keep up. Obviously, their level of defending is not where you want it to be yet, because they're not those senior defenders yet. But you do have to move towards that. Obviously, the fullbacks would be an issue again. Now, you were saying something about Dallo, but Dallo is literally one of the best athletes we have in this team. So if you're going to give up some athleticism in your midfield, you at least have to make up for it in the back line. And then I guess that leaves us a little bit short.
What is he like on the ball?
Yours not a demon.
I think Dallo, outside the first phase, I do think he's a liability going forward. And it does enrage me when I see this guy always crashing the box, and then just every ball he hits, I always feel like the ball, like I want to call Saeed mid-games to ask him if the ball hit him in the face. Every ball is just traveling like this. So I'm like, it does enrage me. But going back, defending at least, and off the ball, he is one of our better athletes. So it's like you have to like somewhat complement what you're missing in the midfield with at least a better back line. And I do think that's something that we're going to have to address. And if we don't sign, God forbid, we need to sign a midfielder. But if we don't sign a midfielder, then at least go get a defender, because you just can't lack the ball winning in both departments. One of them has to improve.
Do you not think though?
I also think,
is it disaster though if Man United don't buy another midfielder? Is it disaster?
Yeah, it's disaster.
No,
I wouldn't say it's disaster, but it would be very disappointing. It would be very
because they're rebuilding the team. Another thing I wanted to add on before we move on to that point, which is very interesting as well. When you look at the teams recently that have been the best, we're talking about Spain, spoke about PSG, Bayern Munich, whatever. They've got very good fullbacks that can go up and down, and in general, quite decent on the ball. All the teams. Another thing is, when you look at how Spain played, one thing they did, because Fabian Ruiz and Rodri mainly played as like a double pivot almost by themselves, and almost kind of hanging around as a 10. So we can just kind of pretend that's Bruno doing whatever. Like, you can do whatever.
Dani Olmo and Bruno, they're not on the same technical level, though, for me.
Yeah.
I think
that's not the point.
I'm
almost
saying
cold, though,
yeah,
technically. What are you talking about?
No, bro, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, in tight spaces, I don't think Bruno can do that little. You see that little.
But that's not the point he's making. I get his point.
He's just talking about positionally. I hear it.
This is in positionally. He's not with the other midfield two. So he's saying basically they're playing in a double pivot while almost up there doing his thing. So he's saying pretend Bruno's doing that for us.
Yeah. When you look at how Spain lined up, because there's deficiencies in terms of the ground that they can cover going back with Fabian Ruiz and Rodri. But what they did, and Arantz mentioned it earlier, they condensed the, like, I don't think people realize how hard they work.
They cut the pitch in half and they make you play in one half.
Exactly, and they worked so hard off the ball. And whenever they pressed late, one thing that the De La Fuente did is he made the goalkeeper play like a sweeper. So any ball that went in behind, the goalkeeper was literally right there. So if Kubasi missed it, Unai Simon, he was right there, and literally that made the pitch so condensed. So it's difficult to get at a team. You cannot tell me that Laporte and Kubasi are the fastest centre back, or Rodri and Fabian Ruiz are the most mobile. But it's positionally the way that he set his team up and their discipline. Obviously, Man United, we tend to not be able to play the same every game. We tend to play twice the same way.
The Premier League,
the third game,
I think that's a lack of quality on the ball, though. I think it depends on the opposition, and also look at Spain. Spain played a false nine as well, bro. And I'm of the opinion that we play better with Brian up front than Sesko, bro. Like, I can't remember many games that Sesko started where I've been impressed by the football.
Liverpool until he got injured. He was quality that day.
No, I'm talking about the team performances. Like, with Sesko, I believe we're not as fluid as a team with him there, bro. Because I don't think in build up he adds anything.
I think that's with a lot of strikers, though, to be fair.
But I'm not a fan of like out and out number 9s anymore in the modern game.
Let me add this about
I want to say something about Spain as well.
Right, so they've been playing, majority of those players, what you said, have been playing through that all throughout the different. If you know the system in Spain, basically you get picked up by the local authorities, so the Spanish FA pick you up.
Yeah.
Even before you go to clubs. They go and basically, you know, the Spanish FA, they're like a club. They scout players. They go to all these tournaments, watch players, and they
have a definitive way that they've been playing for years.
Exactly, and especially under him as well. Like, so he had some of these players on the 17th, you know, the women's. Exactly, that's what they're dominating. A lot of the youth football and even the women's team, they're dominating. But they know. But Olmo, off the ball, the amount of work that he does is underrated.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolute rated, right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Bruno does not have the know-how, does not have the minerals to be in positions. If you go and watch the game again, watch positioning that Olmo takes up. Watch the way they trigger the presses. Yes, it's almost kind of like a one-man pivot with two players ahead. Olmo and Luis are ahead, and it's just Rodri. And Rodri is just the best at that. He's just a scanning machine, isn't he? He's like, he's unbelievable. He's the best in the world at that. But Olmo, off the ball, the amount of graft and work that both of them have put in, even actually in this game, because they were giving who was having the ball? And that's why the idea of fullbacks, two fullbacks that are combative, that can get up and down that football pitch, modern football can change the outlook of your team because of the way. And every time the ball, any midfield or anybody was getting the ball, where was the expert ball? Always out wide to the fullbacks.
That's even why they changed. That's why they subbed out Llorente for Porro, because it just made them more balanced.
Yeah, and even with because obviously that's why I feel like even with Carrick and obviously playing in the Premier League as well, why he probably won't just go for just a 6, because sometimes just that 6 can also be a liability. We've played against Rodri a couple of times. I remember, I think the beginning of 2023, I believe, when we beat them 2-1 with the offside goal, with was it the Bruno goal?
Yeah.
And
the transition.
They did not let Rodri play at all in that game. Nope. Man United did, like the way that United.
We did it in the FA Cup final as well.
Martial, if you go and look back at that game, I was at that game. Martial literally stuck. Martial was injured on the ball. He wasn't doing anything. But he just kept standing in front of Rodri. Yeah. And Fred was pressing really, really aggressive.
Yeah, of course.
And Even you had, what's his name, who left us because he had, injuries. What, the left back? Watch that game, how aggressive. United in that game were super aggressive.
Yeah, of course.
There weren't no shadow. Anytime they came into a certain zone on the football pitch, United were activated.
But I feel like United are not like that game in, game out, though. That's the problem.
But can I also say, guys, are we expecting a lot from Carrick here? Because as much as he's done well, I don't think he's his tactical master. You know what I mean? I think he just understands football of, everyone keep the ball, position, you know what I mean? Trap back, you feel me? Like, I think it's the basics of football. I think sometimes managers, these tactical managers, overcomplicate it. Look at Nagelsmann for Germany, bro. That manager everyone wanted, by the way. Yeah, look at him for Germany, bro. Like, he didn't manage to get them right. So I think for me, we're kind of overplaying what Carrick want. I hear the Spain thing of keeping the ball and but there's a lot of intricacies to what Spain do, which makes them the best in the world. I think Carrick wants to keep it simple, but simple isn't boring, though. Simple, find results, and that's what he's done, Michael Carrick. He's found results, and he's been consistent.
Let's say you don't know, you don't know what evolution to his game or the way he wants to play is coming next season. Because there's a huge difference.
But we're doing this madness of like we're gonna expect this, that, the other. And
no, for example, I don't know what to expect.
The 6 comes in here and the 8 goes over there. Like, I still think it's gonna be basic, but it's gonna be good where we're gonna get results. He's showing
my point is, I don't know what to expect from him. I can only go by what he's telling us. And when he's coming out and telling us this is how I want to play football, I can only take his word for face value. The way if he even has an evolution in the way that he coaches, as he every coach, I feel like year after year they either learn more or they just get worse anyways. But you just always have to wait and see how things go. He came in last season. There's a huge difference between having a whole preseason and knowing that you're the man for the job and you've been hired to take over this job and you're building this team in a certain way and you're working with the backroom staff and all that on building a certain team and a certain image. Versus just coming in the condition that we were last season under Emery, and he has a specific job of, hey, you're just coming here to steady the ship, and you're gone at the end of the season. He probably never thought he was going to get the job until he saw how well he did. So I can't really judge him fairly off of what he did last season. He could be a tactical genius, like all the stuff that you were just referencing. I don't know if he could, but like you should have to give him a chance to even show you, like, this is the evolution that I have in my game. This is what I can do when I have better ball. Like, he has now a completely different midfielder than he had in Casemiro. And I thought for the way, especially after Ten Hag and Amram, the way them two used Casemiro versus the way Carrick used them, he's the only one that had Casemiro looking in that midfield, not like an absolute liability. He's the only one that didn't force him to be in the first phase and doing things that he's not good at, which is like the 10-yard passing, the half turns, the being under pressure when he's receiving the ball. All that stuff, he was getting under Ten Hag and what's his name, and Emery. Carrick is the only one that said, no, hold on, this is not what you're good at. When we build up, I want you actually a little bit further. And I want Kobe's the one that drops, which all of us, when we were having these debates last season, none of us had him labeled as a 6. So he's actually done something completely different than what the other coaches did and what we thought. So I have to give him a chance now under a different midfield, because I think this midfield is going to look completely different than last season, to see what he could do. I've seen how Carrick played football, and I think most midfielders, especially if you most coaches, if you played in the midfield, I kind of always see how they want to play. And I always tend to see these midfield coaches always trying to control the game. So I got to give him a chance to see if we can do that next season. Be a little bit more on the front foot. Be a little bit more advanced in the pitch.
Yeah. But also, guys, there's this comment here. Big up Anna saying, I thought Carrick's meant to be one additional coach. What happened to that? I think there will be, if there's option for us to be an extra coach, I don't think Carrick will refuse it. But I do think he's happy with what he's got right now in, Steve Holland in there. I know Norrie doesn't really rate Steve Holland, but I think right now the coaching staff, has anyone got any concerns? I've not got particularly any concerns about the coaching staff. I mean, if it's there to be added, I think it's there to be added, right? Or are we saying that we need more coaching staff?
One more offensive coach, an attacking-minded coach that can help with the attacking football. Because you always need to reinvent yourself again, when teams figure you out and that kind of thing. So, or the set piece coach or whatever that is, in the modern game. But one more offensive style coach that will help, reinvent the team. I mean, because he's got. I think he's got Jonathan Woodgate as well. Never good defensive minded coach. He's got good good coaches. But and even Holland, Steve Holland again, England defensive minded. but he needs one offensive top level coach.
Okay, listen. For me, you know what it is here, Mandem. I think obviously everyone's got their expectations of what. I do believe United need to play a better brand of football next season, just because naturally you want to see that. Yeah, but I still think for me, Mandem, it's about results for me. You know what I'm saying, and that consistency. I want to still be having another season where United finish in the top 4 or top 3, whatever you call it, in the expense of, for example, we play pretty football. We finished 7th or 6th. For me, it's about maintaining that position of in the top 4, win the trophy. So I get this, all this pretty football, this, that, the other, but it's still about
this
results.
Is a contradiction, Said. I'm sorry. Last season, all I heard when we were winning, oh, this is not sustainable. This doesn't look good.
Who?
Oh, this
From who though?
On who? Amorim. Of course,
from our fans. No, not Amorim. I'm talking on the Carrick. When we were praising Carrick, all I heard is, "Oh, but this is not sustainable. This is not." And we got our first defeat. People couldn't wait to crash it on Carrick.
Staffy, you're right. You're 100% right, but
Musa's.
Yeah, Musa. Maybe from the wrong person, but not from me. Listen, end of the day, yeah. Last season was about results. I hear.
So, did you forget the conversations that were going on every stream?
No, but Staffy, a lot of the fans didn't want to give Carrick credit. That's all it was, bro, because he wasn't the name that they wanted. However, like, the results spoke for themselves, innit? This is a new season. I believe that naturally the football would improve with better players, bro. Like, I'm not aware of too many football teams that have good players that play rubbish football. Like, I'm not aware of them. Do you know what I'm saying? Because good players eventually will play good football. The way that we were set up, I have absolutely no issue with setting up that way again. If we've got better players on the ball, it looks completely different. How do you keep the ball? How do you manage to keep the ball in the other team's half? First, you have to be good enough to progress the ball forward and push the other team back. We weren't good at that because we didn't have capable players on the ball, especially in midfield. Once we sort out the midfield and we can drive teams back, push them back, and then keep them there, that's when you see another brand of football. But you still need the players capable of doing that. You need technicians to be able to do that. And then it's about how you're set up whilst you're in possession, how you deal with it when you lose the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not about...
You slightly need centre backs to do it as well. You need the centre backs. You need the full backs to be able to have the competence. You need those. You need the players in the further back in the pitch, because the players higher up in the pitch are dealing with tight space, no space in some instances.
You're right, but it depends on how you want to play, because some teams play like Spain, for instance. What's his name? Porro was getting forward and he was getting down the outside a lot. But then a lot of teams now in the modern game, they're inverting their fullbacks. And actually, when Dalot inverts, he's better than when he goes down the outside. When he goes down the outside, he's awful. Like, I used to think he was good at crossing and then he just forgot. Like, I don't know when Dalot forgot how to cross, because when he first came in, he was a fullback that used to get down the line, step overs, put crosses in, and all of a sudden now he can't cross anymore. So I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, it's when we had fucking Ten Hag inverting him as a left back for about 2 years, and all he did was just pass in the middle of the pitch, and then he forgot how it was to be a real overlapping right back. Spoke about this so many times. That kid in development.
Mazraoui
filled him in development. This is why he always looks awkward going forward now.
Yeah,
played him as a left back for like 3 years.
Is good at inverting as well on the ball. On the ball, Luke Shaw don't really give the ball away. So if you've got Luke Shaw and you've got Mazraoui inverting and helping us keep the ball, they're capable of doing that, bro. Like, the issues are with them going down the outside. But if we don't want to play down the outside, then it's not really an issue. So again, it depends on how the team's set up.
But just the baseline level of our fullbacks, I think they need to be a couple levels up anyway. So you would want to see these guys get replaced if you want to sustain the football in the opposition's half, because just overall their levels at all aspects of the game is maybe not the caliber that we would want. But and in terms of expectation side, I'm expecting us to get very close to pushing the first or second place. With the football the results that he showed us last season with the football, and by the way, I'm backing him the whole season. I don't care as long as it's top 5, top 6. I'm backing him the whole season. I don't want Carrick to get replaced.
I hear that,
and I want players to continuously get upgraded and bettered, so that what he was doing last season can look better, similar to very close to what Rance was saying. So, but in my mind, I'm thinking if he can replicate this level next, we should be close to first or second. It was the other manager that ruined a lot of the point system, the points that we collected.
No, it's
he should be very close, Saeed. I don't think we need a winger.
He's right, bro. If you went for Amarim start of the season, it's completely different.
He's talking about the Amarim. He's talking about Carrick next season.
He's talking about last season, bro.
That's fine. I think that's
okay. What about the added factor of being in more competitions? Why are we pretending now? I said first or second. What do you mean first or second based off the fact that you think we're going to do a lot more business? Or
I don't like that narrative. That narrative has been used a lot.
It's not a narrative, though. It's life, bro.
No. You know why I don't like that? You know why I don't like that? Let me tell you why I don't like that narrative. Let me tell you why I don't like that narrative.
Let's stuff it like
the 2 seasons before last season, we reached a Europa League final, and the season before we reached an FA Cup final.
FA Cup final, and the season before that we reached League Cup final, and the season before that we did another final.
No, but that's not the point.
How is it not the point?
Let me land. So when you look at the 3 seasons before, even that first season under Ten Hag, we played the most games in Europe. These players had a lot of experience playing in so many games a season that the one season that we don't play, people acting like these guys have never went a full season where they're reaching finals is getting far.
Ludicrous, bro.
Now, you can argue that
finished 15th.
Couple of those. Well, okay. So if I'm objectively looking the season, I finished 15th. Do I think we finished 15th because we played too many games, or am I looking at 15th and saying we finished 15th because of Emery?
I think it was a part of it.
You think we finished 15th because we played
too
many games?
What do you mean, bro? We were literally throwing away games in the Prem and focusing on the Europa League. It was therefore a part.
No, we threw games because we already knew we were finishing
all season.
On top of that, we didn't have a good enough squad to get to the Europa League final and win games.
So there you go. You're starting to think right. So you don't think it was fatigue?
I'm telling you that playing bare games is going to affect how we perform. Rather than playing one game a week, you're telling me, we got to the Europa League final, we finished 15th.
No, but you just debunked yourself. You said that the quality of the squad. It's like people are acting like all of a sudden our players are the only players that can't play fatigue. But then you just reminded yourself that it was quality of the squad.
Well, last season, 15th because my players were tired. We played 2 games a week. We dropped points in. We literally played West Ham and another game back to back. We dropped points in those games. I can look at the team and say, okay, cool. When they've been.
And who was the coach in that week? Who was the manager that week?
It was Carrick, bro.
No, it was Emery. When we drew those 3 games in a row, Emery was
Carrick, bro. It was Carrick.
We didn't draw 3 games.
Which week are you talking about? Because we drew 3 games in a row.
Let's explain certain things.
We have 2 games in a row.
We drew 3 games in a row, and then we sacked Emery and hired Carrick right away. And all of a sudden, fatigue wasn't an issue.
I never mentioned 3 games in a row, you know.
Let me just.
I thought you said we mentioned played midweek and we drew.
I said we had 2 games close to each other, and the second game we dropped points in because you could tell the players were fatigued.
Can I just explain?
Go on.
Let me just explain certain things, right? It's about recovery and a plan for the next game. It's about the amount of time that you have to plan for a game and to go through the game situation, the tactics, the walkthrough, the videos, the talking that you do. When you have 1 game a week, you've got how many amount of days to be able to prepare for the game. Now, when you've got 3 games a week, what next season it could be, like especially when you play the 8 Champions League games that are guaranteed, right? We will be playing 3 games a week. Michael Carrick and his coaching staff will play a game, recovery. Then how many days would they have before the next game is? It's about the planning time. Now, you go and ask any even amateur coach, local amateur, it's about the time you have to prep for the next game. That's what it's about. Now, if you had a brilliant preseason and you've got squad and a game plan that everybody's on board and knows, and you can sub out 5 players and bring in another 5, and it is smooth and it's functioning, then it shouldn't make a lot of big difference, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree with their comment.
This point here is the biggest
I think you're Nuruddin. I genuinely think that a lot of people overestimate
facts
what goes on at football clubs when it comes to training and that. If you think that for every single game in the Premier League that these men are going through all these intricate things, bro, the man them just want to kick ball, bro. I'll be honest. There's certain games, like people are overestimate how much preparation goes into some of these games, bro. Like it's not like these men are all they've got a week, so them man are doing a PowerPoint and they're not doing that, bro. Like I'll be real, it breaks up the momentum. A lot of these men want to play, and even the fatigue argument as well. You see, when you're winning and you're playing well, you don't get tired, bro. Like the reality is the fatigue only comes in when you're grinding results out. Do you know what I mean? It's a mental thing. It's not a physical thing.
It's a mental thing. The fatigue is the mental thing of the repetitiveness.
100%.
It's about the fatigue and the emotions of managing your emotions throughout the 90 minutes and multiple 90 minutes. That's what it is. But Rants, if we want to get to a club competing at all fronts and building up to that, and we want to have sustainable football team, I'm sorry, Rants. Majority of teams in the Premier League that do what you've just said don't win. They don't sustain positions. They're just happy to go happy as Larry. You've got certain teams, so let me finish. There's certain teams like who have won the league, the level of intensity in training, Liverpool, who won the league the last time, Liverpool, City, and Arsenal. The level of preparations, some of these men get given laptops with their clips in and they go and take it home. The clips are there. Anybody could go and research it. The clips are there. Positionally, how you play. So it's not just what they do in the training ground, getting treatments, because obviously most footballers have knocks on that, getting treatments, getting like just lactic acid out of your legs, getting all of that, the recovery thing. It is about the game plan. When you've got one game a week, you can plan everything that you talked about, like what I'm talking about in terms of the preparation. You have more time to be able to do those things. But when you've got multiple games coming up, yes, the best coaches are detailed. They don't give a lot of detail. They're not training as intense because they're just literally recovering from the next game. But they're doing walkthroughs. Something's called walkthroughs, where they literally simulate how positionally where you're going to be. They do.
Nuruddin, I hear all of that, but then how come all these teams that come up here that have one game a week, they go straight back down, bro? Because their players ain't good enough. People can do the 1 game a week thing, yeah. 1 game a week's not enough. 1 game a week is not enough to close gaps in quality, or else these teams wouldn't just be getting smoked.
So you explain to me.
It's a lazy narrative. I'm not gonna lie.
It's super lazy.
You man are moving like it can't work hand in hand, though. It can work hand in hand.
AJ, 1 second. This is a lie. I'm talking about the top teams. I'm not looking at bottom teams. I'm looking at the top teams. I look at Chelsea.
Can you guys hear me?
They don't have no European. A coach comes in and he's got more time to work with him on the training ground, like Conte. They come on, he changes the whole system. If he's playing Champions League games, do you think he's changing the same system and fighting on 2 fronts? No way he's not. And the biggest time is that the amount of recovery, especially when you're playing in the Champions League, you're taking a flight and then you're coming back. It makes a huge difference.
No, I agree.
You're underplaying how much difference he makes.
But I also think
when a big club is out of Europe, the more time that you're going to have, especially when you got coaches, they're going to be able to drill away a system. Conte was the guy that did that. He changed
I can also counter you.
You might not understand who Carrick is, man.
Let me finish the fucking point.
But why are you going on like Carrick's tactician?
The guy changed everything, and then in game, then he worked on it, and they
You're correct. You're correct.
Of the way they were playing 1 game a week.
Bro, but so Chelsea have had 1 game a week and finished in the bottom half of the table as well. So what about that?
About the teams who are coming up, and the other time is also you need the squad. The biggest things about squad to be able to fight the quality in the squad and the substitution you bring on and how well they know.
That's
this is what I said. 1 game a week's not going to replace lack of quality. It's not.
You don't finish third because you played 1 game a week, Martin. That's the point.
No.
How you can finish third because you played 1 game a week?
Chelsea won the league because they played 1 game a week.
Let me finish the point.
Yeah,
no, we don't. Oh my God. You don't go all of a sudden removing games and now you're the 3rd best team in the country. It's just a lazy narrative. Manchester, you're talking about nothing, Nuruddin. Manchester City said when they get knocked out early from the Champions League. Nuruddin.
So you think if we were in all competitions last season, we finished third?
Let Staffy land this point.
Bro, you need to understand, when we went into the season last season, we had a summer knowing that we're playing 1 game a week and we trimmed down the squad. We didn't sign all these players and keep a lot of players that we have. Look at the summer that we had again. We purposely trimmed down the squad as what Chelsea's doing right now because we know we were going into a season with limited games. So the approach of the season is different. You guys are acting like it was a surprise all of a sudden that we're only competing for the... Yeah, sure, getting knocked out the FA Cup early was a bit of a surprise. But you acted like the club didn't know that.
We're not
our trajectory wasn't 3rd when Emery was still there until we got
I hear you saying we trimmed down the squad.
If Emery finishes the season, we don't finish 3rd. So this is what I'm saying. It's lazy analysis.
No, because you're moving like we trimmed down the squad because we knew. We trimmed down the squad because we had to get rid of those players. Like Garnacho had to go. Like
no and we knew. Look at the sales that we made.
That wasn't even part of the plan, you know. No one said Garnacho should go and put on an Aston Villa shirt and start antagonizing.
Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony all left, and we didn't replace him with like what? We replaced him with technically Cunha and what's his name and Mbumo. That's 4 players out, 2 players in. You lost 2 attackers.
Like, a player like Garnacho was not supposed to cut. So really and truly, even if you do Bayern and Mbeumo and Cunha, he's still supposed to be there. He just fucked up.
No, but my point is we reduced the number of players on purpose. We went into a whole season having 4 midfielders. This is why every time we needed to take someone out the midfield and bring in Ugarte, there was a drop-off because we only had 4 midfielders to rotate all season. That's not what you're going in with next season. And that's my point. They knew what they were doing. So I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. I'm saying they were fully aware that they're going into a season with limited games. Therefore, the squad was a lot smaller. You're going now into a season with more players. Therefore, the squad is going to be bigger. But the narrative is that just because we played once a week, it made us third. You don't just play 1 game less a week and all of a sudden go from 15th to third. There's a lot more that has to happen.
We were more consistent. That's the main point. We were more consistent, by the way.
When you play less games in a week, regardless of whether you want to think it changes the difference or not, when you play with more games in a week, your squad matters more.
When did Liverpool go on the Champions League? When did Liverpool go on the Champions League? When did Liverpool go on the Champions League? Was it quarterfinals?
I can't remember.
Round of 16. Chat, let us know. When did Liverpool go out the Champions League? Because we're going on like Liverpool, like we're all of a sudden playing all the way until May with 3 games a week, by the way, yeah? So
Bernardo Silva said when Man City get knocked out early from the Champions League, it ruins their momentum to end the season. He said they usually like to go far in the Champions League because they want to play more games. They said the more games we play, the better we think we play.
So they've got the biggest squad in the league, though.
That we're using.
They've got the biggest squad in the league, though. Like they literally, bro, Man City are the definition of making sure you have quality.
So there you go. Then no, hold on.
I hear that.
I'm not even that. I'm not even that.
February.
Liverpool went out. AJ said.
Hold on a minute. They have to put.
I want to add to what AJ said. AJ,
oh my God.
Pep Guardiola was the type of coach that even for two months you don't see 1 player. Do you know why? He's doing work in the background with that player for them to peak at the right time. So even more detail goes in about certain attacking players when you want them to peak at the right time. But go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with all of this. Yeah, but it's about this whole, like, the reason why the whole 1 game a week thing has to become less and less relevant to us is because we're meant to be living in that environment season in, season out. That's where we want to be. So you guys have to get that nonsense far away from your brains. We don't ever want to be in a situation where we're playing 1 game a week, and we should never aspire season in, season out to be 1 game a week football club. We want to be a 3 to 4 times, 5 times a week football club. So going back, so what you said before was a lot of rubbish to me, Nolan. What we have to focus on now is the squad aspect of what you're saying. The squad aspect of what you're saying was very vital, in my opinion. It needs to be creme de la creme 26, 27 footballers that can be swapped in and out, that can be utilized. You know, 1 player goes for 2 months and he improves his level if that's Dorgu and learns aspects of the game. But hearing about 1 game a week and extra it doesn't benefit us. Every
we don't have that, though.
Because I'm coming to you originally because it was me and you that originally got this, because you were saying something about, like, you know, do we even have it wasn't even do you have the squad? You said something, a terminology, but I was thinking, I think it's first or second because we're gonna have to drop certain competitions. Certain competitions gonna have the lesser quality players, or, you know, it's gonna be opportunities for other players. That's just what's gonna happen because we don't have the full squad. So I'm bringing it back full circle in the sense of I agree with the squad aspect of it. That's very important. But the reason why we're going to be first or second is because certain other competitions we're going to have to look at and say, nah, the best players can't play there, rest him, rest there, and it's not going to be as efficient. But it's going to allow us to go for the 38 games as strong as possible. But to get to the next level, it needs to be class everywhere you look and swap class for class.
I don't know if you remember, guys. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I think a lot of the players got asked last season, do you prefer 1 game a week or do you play 3 games a week? And they all said, we prefer to play more.
Every player prefers to play. Players don't like to train.
Look at the World Cup. Everyone was playing a game like every 4 or 5 days. Every 4 or 5 days, players are playing football. In the summer, in the heat.
Talking about our results last season, there were times where we had 3 weeks without a game, bro. That kills man's momentum. There's no way we benefited from playing flipping one game.
No, you know what's funny?
It's asinine, bruv. That
you know what's funny? When we came back after that 22-day break and we played back, everyone was like, "Oh, it's rust." But now everyone's trying to tell me we benefited from not playing too much.
So was it rust or was that benefiting?
That's the extreme.
The logics go against each other.
That's the extreme part of it. Like,
but it happened more than once in the season.
Yes, no, but me and Nuri are talking about when we played one game a week. We're not talking about when we didn't play for 3 weeks. That's completely different to what we said.
Yeah.
But the point is, 2 games in 7 days or 8 days is better than 1 game in 7 for most players because it keeps the rhythm, especially when you're winning. It's jarring for us when we're winning and then man have to wait a week and then you might draw. Now you have to wait a week to redeem yourself or 3 weeks to redeem yourself. It's jarring for the players. They lose the momentum, especially players, Some players are streaky, blood. Imagine you're on form like Sesko. You've bagged 4 games in a row, then you got to wait 3 weeks to play. Like, it's dead, bro. Like, it didn't benefit man, bro. And the lazy argument about the 1 game a week, the majority of the teams that played 1 game a week finished in the bottom half of the table. So, like, it's just one of those things. And a lot of the teams that played multiple times a week, still finished in the top positions in the league. The reason why they finished at the top bits of the table because they got the best squads and they're the better teams, bro. If you've got a good squad and you're a good team, you're gonna be up there anyway, bro. Like, this 1 game a week thing, is mythical, bruv. You can't use Chelsea as they had a 1 game a week one time and they won the league. They've also had 1 game a week and finished in the bottom half of the table. You can't choose to use one bit of data and ignore the other.
Yeah, but you can't compare a team full of quality players playing 1 game a week compared to a team full of meaty players playing 1 game a week. Of course, the team with quality players will do better. That's the reason why.
But man are talking about fatigue and all these other things. So what good teams get tired too?
It's about the level of squad. It's about the depth of squad.
That's the squad.
It's about the rotation. It's about the rotation. It's about all those things. And the reason why footballers would want to play 3 games a week rather than playing 1 game a week, because they know when they lose a game, that loss is going to be worrying. If you have to wait for another week, they're going to have to manage with that.
Dude, it's match rhythm as well,
match
more
rhythm,
match
but
rhythm.
also how you get over a bad defeat is to go and win the next game.
But even if you're winning, it's still rhythm, Nuruddin.
No, we know that's rhythm. But also, the point what I'm saying is also, is how you can quickly get rid of a result. If you had a bad result, you've got a midweek game, you play that game, you get a good result, it changes momentum. Yeah. You can change momentum.
Confidence-wise, winning
streak,
a player scoring midweek helps the confidence.
Yeah, but it's also about performances as well. I don't know why people are ignoring it. People can talk about results and that. Performances get better when you play more often. That's how you build cohesion. That's how you build familiarity if you've got more games, bro. If a team plays 60 games together, they're not going to be as familiar as if they're playing 38 together.
By the way, we're all in agreement here. This is also squad dependent, so quality wise. So as much
as it's majority squad dependent, side. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
But the logic is still the same. I believe in the logic of you play more games here, you build more rhythm.
Your mic.
Someone like Amad Diallo, Amad Diallo, he only had 5 GA last season. He had to wait a whole week to score again. The pressure that builds up for another week, whether you call these guys on big wage or whatnot, him scoring in midweek allows him to play better in the weekend. So therefore, we didn't have that last season. So the guys that didn't score midweek or did nothing in the midweek wasn't playing well in the weekend, and therefore their form suffered because they're rusty. So I think it's squad dependent.
We need players to get games, bro. Like, as a manager, if you're playing 1 game a week, you can't keep your squad players warm, bro, because you can't fling them in and say, yo, we got a League Cup game for you to get a 75 minutes, or we got FA Cup to rotate you. If there's 1 game a week, you're relying on guys coming into a game to try and affect a game that ain't played football.
But at the end of the day, last season, God knows there were so many United fans that looked at that season and said, we're playing 1 game a week, we expect better results in the league. Facts. So
no one expected to finish where we finished, though. Nobody said when Amran was going to finish third. Who said that?
No one expected to finish third, but we definitely knew we weren't going to finish as low as we were before, and we definitely knew that playing 1 game a week.
But who knows?
People were predicting this finish.
It's not just that. My next thing is
Tottenham did though. Tottenham did.
Well, my next thing is this year. When you look at
did what?
When you look at our
they
squad,
finished lower than us.
Well, not only just that, but they finished lower than us before that anyway. When you look at our squad, bro, you can't tell us that it's like from what we have currently. I'm not talking about what it could look like at the end of the transfer window because we're having this conversation now. Innit? When you look at our current squad, I don't think it's moved that much since the end of last season and now. obviously in terms of bodies, in fact, even in terms of bodies, we've lost the player, we replaced him, and then we've replaced an injured player with a bit more quality on him in it. We still need a lot more. So when me and Nuruddin are saying, yeah, the squad depth does matter, we're talking about what we currently have. Right now, our squad is not that strong.
That's fair. That's actually fair. I think that's fair of you to say that. I don't mind you saying that we need to add more bodies. That's absolutely right.
No
because I just told you we trimmed down the squad last season. So I'd be a hypocrite right now if I don't agree with you. My point is, though, I just don't like the revisionism about last season, as if most of these players, I'd say 99% of our squad, their whole careers, they were playing in Europe anyways. People like Bruno, Casemiro, all these guys that we had on our team, even Sesko was young. All these guys were playing in Europe anyways. Koné was playing for Atletico. These guys were used to playing in Europe. This whole concept that now playing Europe and playing midweek games is a whole foreign concept to them. I just don't agree with it. Yeah. But I agree with you. We do need to add a lot more because I'm looking like, if you like it, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. Rashford coming back, I mean, that's an extra body in the front line. I do agree with you. The midfield still looks a little bit thin because Casemiro left, you got Tielemans, and you technically only added, what's his name, Santos. I don't think that's enough. And I don't care about Toby Collier coming back because I don't think that he's good. I think he should be sold anyways. So I agree with you in the terms of, I think we still need to sign more. But I'm not going to all of a sudden look at next season and just limit my expectations saying, oh, well, these guys were only playing once a week last week. They're so not used to playing midweek. So let me just go predict something like mad underwhelming. That's not what I'm going to do. I don't think that's fair. But I agree with you. We need to expand the squad.
I don't think I'm limited expectations. I'm just looking at the squad right now and I'm thinking to myself, if we go into the season with the same squad plus the extra games, we might not do as well.
So how many players do you want to add? Let's talk about that. That's a better question.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. You see with me, it's what because obviously I think there's so many players that need to be replaced. I think we need a fullback. I think we need a winger, and I think we need centre backs. I think we need 2 centre backs. And I still think, regardless of whether United want to get 1 more midfielder, I think we need 2 more midfielders. But at the end of the day, I also know that it's not realistic to think we're going to get all of those players, which is why I'm still a bit worried.
I don't think we'll get a centre back because I think we have too many centre backs. And you have what's his name, Mazraoui, who plays as a utility centre back. We've seen him.
That's wrong.
It's not wrong. He plays as a centre back for Morocco, bro. He's a utility centre back.
No, he does play for Morocco.
Give away a pen.
For me, ideally, though, you want to play Mazraoui at right back, though. You don't want to
give a pen. That's fine, but I'm just saying he plays in that position.
No, he plays there, but ideally, you don't want him to play there. For me, I think 4 is enough for me. 4. Left winger, midfielder, centre back.
The only issue is the injuries. So if you talk about them not being healthy, I agree with you because Lissandro got injured. And then you have Delict who's just coming back and he's not going to be ready for the start of the season.
No, he's just talking about surgery, you know? He's not back
surgery. That's what I'm saying.
He's not back any
That's what I'm saying. He's not back for the start of the season. So I don't know when he comes back.
For me, he doesn't exist. Like him and Lissandro don't exist. Like in my eyes.
No, I think Lissandro's going to be here for the start of the season. But you're talking about potentially now only having 4 centre backs instead of 5. I agree with you that we need to shunt it. I just don't think it's going to be this summer.
I think I'll be real. I think I've given up on Lissandro in it. So when we talk about centre backs, I don't consider him.
He'll drag him back in, man. When we're playing, I don't know.
I just want to come back at the thing started about the 1 game a week here. I don't know what planet we're on because managers say players themselves come out of their own mouths and say about the fatigue, the emotional fatigue, and how hard it is when a top team doesn't got no European football. And most of our players, Staffy, in the last 14 years, any of the players who've been here, they've been used to more Europa League than they've been used to more Champions League. So let's put that where that is. But at the end of the day, Manchester United last season was an advantage to play 1 game a week in the league. It was an advantage because the amount of time you can go and plan for, you can plan a game to beat the other team when they have that. When the other team has to have, whether they're playing in Europe and they're playing, yes, of course, it matters on the quality. The quality is the most important thing. But let's not gas it out here because professional footballers say it out of their own mouths and coaches say it out of their mouth. And it's not an excuse, it's not the fact. Now,
by the way,
coming back to
I understand.
In terms of AJ, what you were saying about the thing, Manchester United do need a left back and a right back. We need a left back and a right. We need to upgrade. If Manchester United are supposed to kick on the carrot and Ineos,
we should have gotten Lewis Hall. I agree with you.
Manchester United have to kick on. So it's not just that. And the centre halves, even AJ, if you look at Heaven and Euro, both of them had their injuries as well last season. And that's even playing not that many games, because there are different types of injuries. I have to explain it to people like it's ABC. There are impact injuries where you're getting an impact on the football pitch and players. Those are easier to recover from than your body, because there's a certain thing with the way you prepare for games, the level of, the stretching, the injury and rehab, how you are preparing for your games. Now, personability is 50-50 in it. It's 50% on the club and it's 50% on you as a person.
Yeah.
You would like to think it should be 100% from either side, but that's how it works. So in terms of the diet, the test, they can do tests now with the new modern ways of like health. They can do tests about what time certain players are allowed to train, what types of trainings that you can get the best out of, what time peak performance is. All these different data, if you dehydrate it, if the food, that the levels of food that you eat, they can do all these things. But the truth is that I know, because I know people who work personally at the fucking club, that the injury rehab department, like any other department, has been neglected for fucking years. That's why we had players like Wan-Bissaka, and I had to go and expose them for going eating burger at 11 o'clock at night, going eating some burger place. Some clubs will not allow that. Are you kidding me? They will never allow any of that shit. They'll know what time that you had alcohol, when you drank last. They know all of those different type of things. Now, next season, the thing what you were talking about, AJ, and what I'm hearing is that have we got the strength and depth in the squad and more the quality? Have we lifted the ceiling in terms of quality? And so far, no, we haven't. Tielemans is good, but he ain't that fucking good. Santos is a kid who needs development. Is he more of a better box defender than he is somebody who's positionally sound?
No, it's about packaging them. It's about packaging them.
It's about more of a box, but it's about how we want to play. It's about how we want to play, what type of team we're going to be. And you know what? We don't have to wait long. It's a month away.
But can I just say, by the way, I feel like we this is what I'm saying. Like United, Carrick's getting very, very disrespected because it still needs Chelsea to be consistent. It still needs Aston Villa to be consistent. All these clubs here were not consistent last season, and they were barely better squads than ours. By the way, Liverpool, for example, spent 500 million, and we overtook them, and we finished above them, right? So this idea that
we beat them twice.
It's coming out. It's only coming out in the last couple of months since the season ended that Arne Slot, majority of their players did not like his game model. They weren't following even basic instructions. No one to try to explain the reason why. They thought his game was trash. That's why they all like.
Oh, so it's not just about how many games played. It's actually coaching. It's actually quality of the management. Quality of players.
Nuruddin, I want to add to the point, because I feel like a lot of things are getting brushed with the points we're making. Like, bro, you see, we brought up Man City earlier, Let's actually look at Man City. They had Guardiola injured. They had Diaz injured. They had so many injuries to their backline. They ended up signing Guehi in January. That's a team with the biggest depth in that position because they still have Stones, they still have Ake, players that were also injured throughout the season. Now look at United. We've gone into the season. We've got 5 centre backs. 2 of them are injured already, and the 3 we have aren't even that good. So if you think about all the games that they're going to have to play between the 3 of them, if I'm worried about them picking up an impact injury, like Nuruddin said, or them just getting up injury in general, or them not even being good enough, there are definitely things we need to worry about in that department.
But I said that's
but you brought it back to quality, and that's the whole point that we should be discussing. Because you just said 3 of them are not good enough. If you thought they were good enough, you wouldn't be this way.
But
everyone's got their own problems. Liverpool have not signed anyone substantial that we are scared of right now. Chelsea, cool, they're doing their thing. I expect them to add more. Forget Arsenal, Man City, because they're kind of maybe chasing the time. I'm talking about the people around us. Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur, are you not really worried about Tottenham Hotspur? If you are, speak up now.
By all the logic I've heard, I'm expecting Spurs to finish 3rd because they signed all these players and they're playing once a week.
I didn't agree. Spurs had Champions League football last season and Europa League football the season before that. Chelsea also had Champions League football. Are you guys trying to tell me that you don't expect them to improve on last season?
They may improve, they may not. But the thing is, right now, they still have a lot of holes in their team. And they still need to blend under a new manager. But right now,
okay, so you're telling me Zerbi and Xabi Alonso 1 game a week with new signings, you don't think those teams will improve?
But for me, I think it's Chelsea, and Liverpool, who are the ones that maybe we've got to watch out for. Tottenham Hotspur still have a lot of holes in their team. They still haven't sorted out their attack. Let's be honest with you. Is their attack still good enough to be scoring goals?
Well, they have Kudus, who hasn't been fit in a minute. They have Kulusevski, who hasn't played in over a year.
Cool. But it's still
They're not finishing 17th, though. They're not finishing 17th, though.
No, and that's fine. But I'm saying now, by your logic, I should expect them to finish third because now all of a sudden they don't have the extra game.
It's not about whether they're going to finish third because I don't even think that their team is better than ours. But I'm just saying they're going to.
Oh, so it's back to quality. That's the whole point I'm trying to make, bro.
But it works hand in hand, though.
It does work hand in hand.
Quality is a lot more important. That's why you keep going back to it, which is the correct argument that we should be having.
It's more important. That's fine, but I still think there's therefore a factor in the fact that they're playing.
And the coaching.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is though, but
so let me ask you this. Let me ask this. Let's say next week we're sitting here to talk, and we sign either Baleba or Kone. Just say for the sake of argument, one of them, any one of them, and then let's say we'll sign Lewis Hall. So you added a left back.
Yeah,
that's two signings, hypothetically speaking. Are we gonna sit next week and not predict us to finish higher than Spurs after two quality signings just because we play more games than them?
I think regardless, we can finish above Spurs. However, if you give me two more quality signings, I'm going to feel more confident going into the season.
And that's why I agree with you. And I think that we should focus on that.
Because it not only just adds to our quality, it also adds to our depth.
Minimum of two, then I can't lie.
But the thing is, though, when we'll
obviously, I want more than two, but the two we don't have will give me more confidence than getting the two. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what
I think minimum two is correct.
I don't think
I agree with you.
Listen, we could.
I still think first and second is a drag, bro. That's why we started this conversation because guys are
you know what it is, though. You know what it is, though. I do believe that the name of Michael Carrick doesn't really suffice a lot of people, maybe in the United fan base. But if Carrick was to finish above De Zerbi, Iraola, and Thingy, like, is that going to be enough for him to get a bit more respect?
He should, because he finished third last season, Saeed.
Oh my god! So now it should be.
No, but this should be.
Hold on a minute. Stop it. Am I bugging it?
See how he debunked his own logic, Saeed.
I don't get that, Dorian. You can't say that, bro, Dorian.
Saeed, if we're following your logic, you're just asked the question about a logic. We're saying to you, we don't follow Spurs. I don't follow Spurs. I don't follow Liverpool. I follow Manchester United. So I know what Manchester United need, what the deficiencies of Manchester United are. What we're doing in terms of squad.
No, but the thing is, you're not going to give credit then. You're not going to give credit then. So either way.
It's not about giving credit. So if Michael Carrick finishes, from what we sign now, if Michael Carrick was to finish the top four, it'd be miraculous for me. From what we've got right now, it'd be miraculous. It would be miraculous. That's what it would be for me. And Manchester United.
So how can you say you're expecting it, but then you say it would be miraculous? That just doesn't make sense.
He's talking about the squad. I think he's talking about the squad.
Oh my fuck!
No, you're talking about the squad. Clarify, you're talking about the squad.
What I just said. I'll just repeat it slowly again, Staffy, so you can hear. With what we've got right now, if Michael Carrick finished third again, it will be miraculous.
Yeah.
But you just said, wait, oh my God, this just makes no sense. How can you say you're expecting him to do more than last season? No, you're not making sense, Northern. I'm sorry. You're saying you're expecting him to do more than last season, and in the same breath, you're saying it would finish third.
I'm saying to you, Michael Carrick finished higher, even though De Zerbi came in, 6 games to go or whatever it was. He finished higher. He knows his team more. So for those other managers, so for Iraola, like Saeed said before, for De Zerbi, it is fresh ideas onto a squad. De Zerbi didn't change how they wanted to play last season because it was about survival. It was about by any means necessary. Spurs, how do you stay in the league by any means, right? With all the 11 players that they had that were injured, 11 first-team players that were out that were injured, right? So it's about that. Then Iraola, who's getting a new job. Xavi Alonso, who's new, Saeed. And you said that, Saeed. So I'm following that logic when I tell you that
but no, let me
finish.
I've already heard your point.
If you follow that logic, Saeed, what Saeed said, because I listened, Staffy, Saeed said, it's because he said it before, 20 minutes ago, he said, well, all these other teams, he explained them, broke.
They have their own problems, I said.
Saeed said, yes, you said, and what did you say in your sentence? You said, it is the first time that they're embedding their ideas. So you expect it to take longer. So that is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying by Saeed's logic.
But we know what makes sense though. It's the fact that you gave the caveat to 3 games a week. It'll be more difficult. The situations that happen there.
I said with the squad. The biggest problem about last season was about our squad. And we talked about the quality, the depth, and the squad. Staffy,
but to balance it out,
I listened. 1 second. I listened, Staffy. You said, and you agreed largely. You might have rejected about the 1 game a week, but you talked about specifically about this. The quality in the squad.
Yes, that's what I want us to focus on.
This is it. So with that, and I said, if we start with Tielemans signing and Santos signing, and Michael Carrick finishes 3rd, with the problems that he said of the first season as managers, getting to know how the system is going to work, how they're going to do, like first seasons. When a coach comes in or a manager comes in first season, the first 3 or 6 months, it's about learning until they find something that works. So we already know that. So
but my thing
if Michael Carrick finishes 3rd with what we've got so far, it will be miraculous for me personally. That's an opinion.
Okay. But then when I said to you though, if Carrick finishes 3rd, we've got to give him a credit. And you said then, what did you say then?
I said I would give them the credit. I would give him
No, you didn't say that. You said when he has to finish there anyway. That's what you said. What was his word?
Yeah, because he's finished that. When you compare them to Chelsea and to compare them to Spurs, yes, he should, because he finished 3rd last season anyway. So he should be ahead, and the squad should be ahead and being in more tougher games fighting for the points. But the problem is that when we say it's because it was 1 game a week, you're rejecting that completely out of the water and saying,
it's a squad dependent.
And the point what we're making is, yes, one quality squad you have and you play 3 games, your squad is going to be stretched. The more games you play, because it's about what AJ was saying before, and what the point I was trying to make, it's about the injuries that's going to occur. If you don't have the quality, you don't have 5 players on the bench who can come in anytime you have injuries and suspension and fill in the team and in the first team, you are going to struggle. That's what the point what we're making about. And then so you agree with us on that point. But the point what I'm making is simple. If Michael Carrick finishes 3rd with what we've got so far, it'd be miraculous for me.
By the way, everyone in the chat here, give us an early prediction as to where Man United will finish. If you had to predict right now, obviously we will have another one towards the end of the season. End of the transfer window. But give us a soft prediction. Give us a soft prediction, chat. Like where United will finish right now. I mean, I'm saying for me 3rd or 4th, but I'm going to stick with 3rd because I still believe that position isn't. Mandem look at a position and think, 3rd is amazing, bro. It's also maybe a case of like 3rd and 4th has always been a bit inconsistent. So we just managed to be a bit more consistent than 4th or 5th. So I'm going to say 3rd for me, behind Liverpool. So actually, you know what? Behind Chelsea, actually. I think Liverpool have problems. Maybe behind Chelsea. But they will be neck and neck anyway.
I think if we don't take this transfer window seriously, we can easily drop out the top 4.
I think that's conceivable. I really that. And again, I'm going to agree with you on that one. If United do mess up the window, that's also possible because we haven't done back-to-back since Oli. Mandem don't realize this. United have not finished back-to-back
for that season because of lockdown, and we were doing our away record was the best that the league has ever seen that season, and that was because of lockdown. It was a lockdown season. Yeah, that's why it was back-to-back.
Yeah. He just dropped Liverpool. What did he say there? Just dropped Liverpool. Now it's behind Liverpool and Chelsea. Listen, it's behind. Listen, I think for me, it would have surprised me. Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United, one above the other. So one finishes 3rd, 4th, 5th. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's like that. 3rd, 4th, 5th, wherever people could go. And then I expect Tottenham to be around 6th, maybe 7th. Who knows?
Why is Chelsea ahead of us all of a sudden? What's the logic?
Who?
Why is Chelsea ahead of us all of a sudden?
No, I just think maybe if they were to maybe take advantage of the window now and buy Alex Scott, they add to what they've got right now. They keep building because they're apparently looking to add to their window. And Xabi Alonso as well. Maybe the one game Mook as well. I think all of them factors, if they can get a bit consistent, if Cole Palmer gets the back to the Cole Palmer.
Who have they signed so far? Who have they signed?
They've signed one right wing back from Italy.
They signed right back from the Serie A and Morgan Rogers. Pretty much it. I don't think they signed anyone else.
Who else is it? Yeah, and Lacroix. They're going to sign Lacroix now, right now.
They haven't signed him yet, but they're trying
for me, Villa, I think they've lost a lot of good players. Newcastle, You know what I mean? It's crazy.
No,
but then again, they show that Newcastle always show that when they're out in the Champions League, they actually do better.
Exactly. Wanda, to be fair, Wanda's still coming in as well.
Bro, so when Newcastle are in the Champions League, they do better. When Chelsea 1 game a week, do you think they're going to do better? But when we say it, it's mad.
No, hold on a minute.
That's
why I purposely asked him.
Because Newcastle never been there. Newcastle also sell. Hold on a minute. Newcastle also sell badly as well. What are you talking about here? They lose a lot of quality every summer. That's why.
That's why we said
I purposely asked that question, AJ. I purposely asked that question. I purposely asked that question because I wanted to know what the initial response was going to be. And the first thing he said is because they signed players. No one said anything, but Chelsea's playing for 1 game a week. The first answer was
he said Chelsea playing 1 game a week as well. He added it.
No. Back to week 1, his first answer was they signed players, and no one said.
I said they signed some good players.
You might not thinking that we're saying.
Staffy, I'm telling you, Man United finishing 3rd. But if there was a threat, it would be Liverpool and
Chelsea. I'm just asking, what was the whole logic of Chelsea?
Do you man genuinely think that we think that 1 game a week is the only factor? Like, I don't understand.
No, they got quality as well.
It's the highlighted factor, and that's what I don't like. Because we all logically...
I just said to you, they've signed some good players, and that's what my first mention was.
Can I ask you a question? If Chelsea signed no good players this transfer window, let's say they just kept the same squad from last season, and they were playing 1 game a week, do you think they would still finish 10th?
No.
There you go. So it's like, bro, you can't act like it's not a factor. It's a
quality thing. It's a quality. A lot of things have to happen for them. They have to find a balance, right? And then they have to get Cole Palmer playing better. João Pedro needs to continue what he did last season. Rodgers needs to fit in as well. So there's a lot of
Chelsea didn't sign Morgan Rodgers yesterday, none of us would be sitting here today saying they could finish ahead of us. Right. That's the whole reason our whole tone has changed.
I'm not even saying they can finish ahead of us, isn't it? I'm not even mentioning.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. I think we'll finish 3rd. But if in the case that it does, last season, did anyone expect us to finish 3rd last season? But there were circumstances that enabled Man United to finish 3rd. The sacking of Ruben Amorim.
We finished 3rd because we got rid of Amorim and we went and signed Sesko, Kone, and Mbeumo. Anyone who thinks the main reason was we're playing once a week, then explain to me why in fucking November or December we were sitting 6th or 7th with Amorim. No one can explain that.
We were fifth.
I swear we were like
3 points off 3rd, and we were 5th.
We're 11 points.
The point is we weren't in the top 4. That's what I'm trying to say.
But we were 5th, bro.
We were 6th.
Explain, please, what happened to Villa, Saeed?
In fact, forget Villa. We were 3 points off top 4.
Oh my God,
Villa couldn't win a game.
After that, my God, I don't care. I don't care.
So why are you mentioning it then? Why are you mentioning it then? If you don't care, why are you using Villa?
No, because he said.
When I tell you the facts, that they lost so many, they couldn't win a game. They went on the run where they couldn't win a game.
How does that? Like you're trying to diminish what United did.
Their points dropped.
But the thing is, United. The facts are already. The facts are United were 11 points behind Villa. United to catch.
That's crazy. Our guys forgetting that even City went on a terrible run. They were in.
Who cares? Who cares?
Because you can use it even with teams with good squads. They're still in multiple competitions and dropping games.
When Rodri was injured, which again brings you back to quality. Like
Rodri getting injured based off the fact. Rodri getting injured is even another thing, bro.
But United, the thing is, though, the biggest point you need to take away from it is not the fact that what they lost, is that Man United still needed to get results, and that's why you lot are not giving the credit to the character.
If we played 1 game a week, with Højlund, Anthony, Rashford, Garnacho, we wouldn't have finished 3rd. Why are we pretending like that's not the case?
But we're not disagreeing with that. That's the thing. Like, I don't understand why you keep mentioning the quality.
You're saying it's helping factors then. You're saying it's helping.
Yeah, it's just an added thing.
It's so highlighted for no reason, bro. It's so highlighted.
It can't be highlighted for no reason because it's a thing. Like it's literally
a thing. It's the center of the focus right now, and that's what I don't like. Like it's a factor. Yeah. It does give you a favor when you have more energy levels than your opponent. If a team gets to rest for 5 days and a team gets to rest for 4 days, all of us human beings are going to use our logic. We're going to be like, you know what? The team that got the extra day of rest is going to be fresher. We all know that. But to pretend that one game a week, just all these wonders where you can go from 15th to 3rd, then I'm just going to start predicting Spurs to finish in the top 4 next season. And I'm not going to expect United to finish in the top 4, Nordin. And if we do it, I'm not blaming Emery. Carrick.
It's about recovery and preparation. When you've got more time,
you'll prepare better when you have more games.
Yeah, when you have more days and more recovery. That's what it is. And also when you're flying, when you've got to Staffy, when you've got to go to Real Madrid, tough away now, because obviously it's Manchester United playing Real Madrid, and the whole world's watching, and you've got to give it. And then you've got 12:30 on a Saturday to come back at, let's say, West Ham or whatever, right? Or whatever, just a team, just that's further away from Manchester. It's the traveling as well, bro. That's why we talked about the Europa League. Thursday, Sunday takes a drain. That's why I never want to. Do you not think why I want to be in the Europa League? Because I think Manchester United have
Nordin, that won't be an issue if we strengthen. No, if we go and sign 3 players from here, that won't be an issue.
The point that I'm trying to explain to you is this, right? The point where the Thursday, Sunday drains people because you're playing mostly Sunday, Thursday, right?
Yeah.
The point within the Champions League, not because I don't like Europa League, because I think Manchester United have no given right to play in the Champions League. You have to earn the right to play in the Champions League, right? And to be competitive in the Champions League. But it makes a difference. When you've got to go and play a tough European away game, then you come back, then you got 12:30 Saturday. Because the things about German League, the thing about the Spanish League, the thing about Italian League, what they do to help out their teams in the Liga, what they do is that they help them out. So they would give them a kickoff that is relevant. But in the Premier League, no favors are done for nobody.
But that's why I said we need to send more players, Nordin. So what are we disagreeing on? If we can rotate, we won't have this issue.
That's what we talked about.
And that's why I said let's focus on that.
Yeah, it's also substantial.
For me, I think Manchester United needs 7 players from the squad we were last season.
And that's fine. I said we need 6, so we're somewhat in an agreement.
Michael Carrick has got to have a rotation. Yes, the quality of the players matters, but he's also needs to learn how to manage a squad properly. And he's not done that. So that's going to be a new test. There's going to be loads of new things. And I have no agenda to think that I'm not going to give credit. Every time I say it, if I've ever said an opinion and that Manchester United have gone, whether it's the board, whether it's the players, whether it's the coach, have proved me wrong, I'm happy to write it down and eat it live on camera. Because I don't have that ego. I don't mind being wrong. But we're making an assessment and I'm giving an opinion. That's all that is.
Okay.
I hear that, Noureddin. But one last thing, Saeed. I get all that, Noureddin. But as I said, the thing I want to focus on is that we need to add more bodies. I think we all agreed on that. Me and AJ already spoke about that. We need to sign more players. If we go on from here and we don't sign enough players and our depth is not as good, if we go and fail next season, it won't be because all of a sudden we're playing an extra game. It will be because you just didn't add quality to the team. People will come back and say, we told you last season you only played once a week. That's why all of a sudden you're not good. That is not the case. We need to go and sign players. It's that simple. Until the end of the summer, we need about 2 to 3 more players minimum. Like that's like me not even negotiating. That's not me saying I'm really happy with the summer. That's me saying, all right, you did the bare minimum, which is signing us 2 and 3 more players. That's the only way we don't set up ourselves to fail for next season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get these super chats in, people. Please kindly read the super chats slowly. Why is the panel against white or light-skinned midfielders? Real talk. Wallahi, Musa needs to be rushed for BLM agenda. That's wrong because I was for the Anderson signing. I also am for Alex Scott signing. So, you know what I mean? You might have to speak to Musa on that one because he's BLMFC. So, yeah.
Certain players just had better physical genetics than other players. Let's be honest. If I sign Fabian Ruiz, I'm not expecting him to do the same thing Baleba is doing. Let's just be real.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not BLM. That's just being realistic.
And but also Fabian Luis also they don't play the same. They don't play the
exactly.
Same.
That's my point. Like if I want someone more technical, I'm probably going to Spain. Now, if I want someone more physical, I'm probably going to like Baleba. You know that's the logic of the signings.
Yeah. Please bring in Danny Detail and Marcel back. Marcel's back. Danny should be back soon. He's just obviously got a baby, so big up to Danny. So always big up Rainer, my guy Rainer, man. Remember for 40 months says we need left back centre back Van der Ven, Lewis Hart, and Alex Scott. That would be the dream. Knowing this board would be looking to sign one of those players. Tier 1 is just more foolish wording fans are using. Give it a rest and allow to build a proper team. Says Rocker. Bench and Bruno and go for a midfielder 3, a dead baller. Big up Sam says Anderson was never our main target. Maybe he was in supporters' mind and journalists just milking for clicks. Club will never set expectations they can't meet. It doesn't make sense in terms of PR.
No, they were. No, they were. You're totally wrong, and you don't understand how Manchester United were, my friend.
In fairness, Nuruddin, our 2 signings so far came out of nowhere. We didn't know about Santos and we didn't know about Tillmans.
They talked about them pivoting. They talked about them pivoting. The journals that they were briefing talked about them pivoting because of the market. The market.
Just saying, our business has been quiet, to be fair. So.
Yeah. The youngsters of MCL 10 now Barcelona midfielder. Bring me Sander Berge or Baleba and a new left-sided centre-back, I beg. I never heard people mention Sander Berge, but would be a good double pivot because our 4-2-3-1 looks like 4-4-2, and we end up very open. In 4-3-3, I see it. Bonley Sanjo, Passion Merchant Hobbit. Carrick keeping Mount, that's a lot if doubt. Yeah, I can't lie to you. That is a red flag, though, but it is what it is, man. Like, his wages are the ones that...
You can't get rid of him with these wages. He's going to be another one that walks like Sancho did.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get rid of him.
Most of this panel people who hate on Bruno rate Xerxes, says it all. Carrick says he wants to have more control, but if low-key IQ transitional brain dead players like Bruno and Mount and okay letting Xerxes go, okay, bro. Start Xerxes, we win the league baller.
Baller League.
Hey, Baller League, yeah,
Baller League, bro.
But we haven't
I think he'd be called there.
We haven't seen Carrick mess up with more games in the season, so why are we giving him the benefit of the doubt? Chelsea won the league 1 game a week. Anytime Newcastle has Champions League, they suffer in the Premier League. Nuruddin is spot on. A lot of evidence supports.
This is so disingenuous, Adewale. They won the league, and then they downed tools because of Mourinho, and then they won the league the season after.
Yeah,
that is the worst example you could have used. It's so disingenuous. You were trying to. You thought we forgot. These guys were league winners 2 years prior.
Yeah, I would drop Bruno, start Xerxes because of his 3 GA is more important than Bruno's 30 GA because Xerxes has a few nice touches and is a baller. You are finishing the top 3, says a Chelsea fan. You are not finishing top 3. Last season was abnormal. You played 40 games in a season. Also, you guys find out Santos' pass is limited. He ain't very good at line breaking. Stats are fake. Listen, man.
We'll see this guy in 3rd. They'll finish 3rd. That's my demand. When I do expectations this season, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying United outside the top 4.
Yeah.
So when we don't get top 4, I don't want to hear anyone complaining.
Yeah. Yo, Musa, you wanna end the show, man? Any last few words before we end the show? Anything you
got a serious allegation with that one super chat, by the
way. LMFC. Here we go. Listen, when the midfielders weren't BLM, nobody was crying. Now they're starting to look a bit BLM-ish. All of a sudden, people are crying. But where was the outrage before when we couldn't get no BLM in the middle of the park? Listen, don't believe the hype. I just wanted to ask you a question earlier because there was a lot of talk about Michael Carrick's tactical pronouns and how he's going to play the game. The question I wanted to ask was...
Magnifying glass, mate. Magnifying glass.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask is, every team, most teams play a similar style of football with a few different...
variations.
Which is the team in the Premier League, or what team in the Premier League has already played the football that everyone's telling us Carrick is going to play? Which team is it?
Hey, let us know because I don't know myself.
That's what I'm saying.
If that team doesn't exist, don't start telling us to start buying into something that's never been achieved. The only person that I know that plays possession-based football is Pep Guardiola. And when he came in, he needed the Fernandinho in the middle of the park to help him out so the rest of them can play. He realized straight away, without a Fernandinho, my ballers can't play. All of this Spanish stuff you're seeing internationally is not going to copy and paste into the Premier League without a Fernandinho in the middle of the park. So when people start saying Carrick is going to start playing some type of football, he can't be the first to do it. It has to already been done. If he's the first to do it, with the
I know, Musa, but I'm saying this is what he told us how he wants to play. Like he's come out and said, I want to keep possession of the ball more.
If anything, Carrick is trying to play more like Aston Villa and Unai Emery. He's trying to play Villa ball.
But he's saying he's trying to keep the ball more. That's the point that I was making, Musa.
Villa keep ball more than us. As far as I'm concerned, he's trying to play Villa ball. from what I've seen.
I don't think Villa kept the ball more than us last season.
They do. Villa play better football than us, and they keep the ball more than us. Unai Emery's team with Tielemans, with Onana, with what's the other Scottish guy that they normally have there as well?
The possession stats last season, United finished with 51.8, so about 52. Villa was on 53, so we were pretty much the same. But
that's what
we weren't the most possession-based side.
That's what I'm saying. Based on what I see Villa across the season, how they play the games, with the players that they deploy in the middle of the park, Man United want to play like Villa. And this is why I said, if Carrick don't make it, don't be surprised if Unai Emery becomes our next manager. Because what he does at Villa, with the lack of resources, is extraordinary. He's to compete on all fronts, pick up trophies, get into Champions League football, and he doesn't have the best squad in the league.
Wait, are you upset that he said he wants to keep the ball more? I'm confused by your argument. Like, do you not like those comments?
I'm upset when someone they're going to do something that they've never done before, and then you try to convince everyone that it's definitely going to happen.
As in us, like the panel, or Carrick himself?
No, I'm saying Carrick tells you he wants to keep the ball more. Okay. So then people start saying maybe we don't need a runner there. We just need total football. So the question we ask is, where is this team that's come in the league and play total football?
No, there's not. We have to wait and see. Areola might not play that football that he played at Bournemouth. I
don't think there was anything wrong with his comments. To be fair. He just said he wants to keep the ball.
Let me get this last super chat because I do need to go.
Carrick says, forget what Carrick says. I'm saying, why do you buy into that it can be done? We should be saying, look, Carrick, we've been watching this team for as long as who knows. We've seen other managers better than you come go, and don't make the same mistakes they did. Don't underestimate the Premier League and how it can humble you very quickly. Yeah. Get your runner in, and don't listen to these people that you can just come and put possession base and keep the ball more. You might keep the ball more with. Go on.
What I'm saying is you can only go by what a manager tells you he wants to. Whether he does it or not, I can't promise you if that's going to happen. Yeah, but when we're sitting here and discussing what is going to happen next season, I can only go by what he's telling me he wants to do. I have to take his word for face value. Whether we achieve that or not, that's a different discussion.
But what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? If he doesn't get
I do think this team is better equipped.
Based on your experience, this team is better equipped to keep based on your experience and everything that you've seen.
I think this team currently is better equipped to hold the ball a little bit more next season.
Keep the ball.
Yeah. Just purely by the switch of Casemiro to Tielemans, because Tielemans is a lot more competent on the ball. So I think that signing alone helps you. If that's the trajectory you're moving towards, that is the right signing to do.
Maybe we're in for
I'm not saying we're going to dominate the league. It's not like we're going to have 60% possession. That's not what I'm saying. But if you kept 52% possession, you can slightly bump it to like a 54, 55. It does make sense.
Can we all agree, though, if we fail next season, it's down to Ineos, not Character as well? Can we all agree with that as well? It's down to Ineos, not Character.
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well.
If they're not backing, if they've not bought the quality,
that's you assuming we don't make signings, Saeed?
But I don't think for me we're going to sign 4 or 5 more signings. I'm a bit concerned. I'm not saying I'm worried, but I'm a little bit 4.
When does the window close, Saeed? When does the actual window close?
I think it closes, to be fair, September, isn't it? The first.
If we go and sign a midfielder from here, I don't know if I could just look at Indians and blame them. I don't think it's going to be a great summer.
See, one of the things people don't talk about is when, like, I hear it from Marcus Rashford that Marcus Rashford's been playing football since he was 18, and players that play football from a young age normally burn out 10 years after that. So by the time they get to 29, you start seeing them slowing down because they've been playing football for so long. No one talks about Tielemans being a captain for Anderlecht at 18 and playing a load of football, a load of minutes.
Because his game is not physical anyways, Musa.
His Tielemans in football years compared. If he's been captain for that team from 18 years old, by the time this guy's 30, he's going to be like 30.
Musa was 17. When it came to Old Trafford, he was 17 in the Champions League with Anderlecht.
I think that logic is making sense when your game is physical. So you look at someone like Modric. Modric is 40 years old playing in the midfield in the Serie A. It is because mainly his game is not physical.
Yeah.
People.
I need to shoot. Nuruddin overanalyzing everybody. I know what I'm talking about. Fact support it. Anyways, it's my opinion. Listen, people, we're gonna have to wrap it up here.
Overanalyzing.
No, he's just talking about his. I don't know what he's saying, man. But big up to him anyway. But people,
it's just
I trigger people, man.
Yeah, I know you do. You trigger. We have got 950 likes. We're 50 away from 1,000, which is amazing, people. 50, 1,000 away. So people,
they hate it when we agree with everything on the show, Nordin. But then when we disagree about things, they also don't like it.
Yeah.
So you're never satisfied.
I'm not watching the movie today. I might watch it another day. I'm not watching it today, people. I'm gonna watch it another day.
Well, but yeah, watch Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey. Yeah, but not today. Not today.
Movie night for Saeed. Okay.
Staffy, what you got coming up, man? Are you just abandon your channel? What are you saying? When are you back?
I didn't abandon my channel. I was live on Monday. Why would you say that?
Oh, okay,
I don't go live. You know what? I don't go live every day like you do, but I'll go live like twice a week.
You know what? Okay, cool. And to be fair, it's like, okay, cool. My bad. Yeah. People, Staffy's channel, part-timer then. You know what I'm saying?
I'm 100% a part-timer, bro. But when the season kicks off, I'll start doing more watch-alongs and stuff like that. I encourage everyone to just touch grass more this summer. And when the season starts, bro, we'll be here, bro. Like, it's okay. The channel ain't going nowhere. But I'm always live every Monday, Thursday. So always check me out.
Yeah, check in, man. Staffy TV, man. Make sure you check it. And listen, the myth that Yanks don't know ball, bro. Staffy, he puts out the window,
to me, I don't know where people get those things from.
Yeah,
they just hear how I speak, Nordin, and they're like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know."
You happen to live somewhere, like you happen to live somewhere, and you have an accent. The game belongs to the world. Everybody plays the game, man.
I agree.
Corner. Especially as a country and as a state as diverse as New York. I'm
already New Yorker, man. I might even get my citizenship over there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, the whole world knows. The whole world is there. The whole world.
Shout out to your mayor as well. You got the best mayor in the world as well.
And he knows ball, bro. He knows a lot of ball. He's an Arsenal fan, but he knows what he's talking about. You can tell because he grew up in Uganda, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, man. Shout out to your mayor.
Shout out to him, man. All the hate that he's been getting, by the way. Shout out to him for saying that if Netanyahu came to New York, he'd arrest him, even though Even though America wouldn't do it, they said they don't acknowledge the decision of the ICC. But shout out to Mamdani, bro. Don't listen to these idiots.
Yeah, definitely.
That guy's a war criminal, bro.
I just hope they don't take him out, man. I just hope they don't take him.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm still a bit suspicious, man. You know me. I'm always like, they send people like Mamdani and Obama and that to give people hope. And
shout out Mamdani.
Yeah. No, the way you got coming up on your channel. Anything you got
I'm just going to do a video now about, I'm just going to do a video about, two of my friends have got the letters from the club about basically taking their season ticket off them.
What? What the hell?
Have you not heard it, Saeed?
No,
for the first time in my life, all of the Manchester United fan groups have become united. And
what?
I've literally spoken.
Wait, why is that, Nordin?
Because
is that where the players sit though?
No, basically what they've done is this. They're saying if you use different phones, because some people have like their work phones, they have business phones, they have other personal phones, and they're saying that the club has found inaccuracies with the different phones people are using for their season ticket to go to the game. And they're saying basically people are touts, and they're then sending them threatening letters, and then saying that basically taking off the season ticket. And we all know why. Manchester United want less season ticket because why, Saeed? They want more match day casuals coming.
Oh, yeah,
who are going to spend every money, other than a person who's going to eat their food, up their cup of tea at home.
But can't they prove it though? Can't they prove that?
Well, that's what they said. Well, two of them, and they're appealing it now. But for the first time in my lifetime, you can never unite the whole fan base to get against the Glazers. Yeah. All of the different fan groups, 5, 6 of them have united and put a letter out, a statement out to say,
that's
this
good.
Needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. So I'm going to talk about that a bit and talk about all of the stuff that people are linking.
Yeah, no, definitely, man.
But they are trying to get rid of what they call the legacy fans. That's
What I know about is a season ticket holders where Angry Ginger, you know what? I don't know if you know Angry Ginger, innit?
Yeah,
I know where he sits. Yeah, there's a season ticket holders down there. They've been told to leave. And some of them have been there for 50 years, 60 years.
But now they're coming up. Listen, they're coming up with this new thing saying that we've been monitoring and you're using too many different things to log on.
Bro, I know my one. Listen to me. I'm on a time right now. You get me? Like my season ticket is definitely going very, very soon. You feel me? Because you know what I mean. It's getting mad out there. You feel me? So I know my one's gonna be gone sooner or later because that's what they want, right? They want. The people who actually
they want guys who go to them. They want literally the Americanization of football, the European football. Other than having long-term support, Staffy, they want like what happened. I don't know what happens at the NBA, but different fans come through. Like
yeah, they want different people coming in every day.
The new stadium, yeah. I don't know if you know, but they want people to bid your seats for the new stadium. So basically, you bid. I don't know. You can bid like 20,000, and if someone outbids you, you can get that seat. So that could go up to 100K, wherever. So there's going to be a bidding war for seats in the new stadium.
So basically, their dream is the wet dream of the Glazers and Ineos is that to have casuals who are going to keep their mouth shut, never going to kick over.
I agree. I agree.
That's what they want.
So basically, people who've been fathered in their seats, they get to lose it after 50 years or whatever.
I know that's insane as well. That's insane.
Disgusting.
That should be kept.
And also, and I always tell this to Saeed when we're there in the stadium. I always point it out. But there's a significant percentage of our fans, match-going fans,
elderly,
who are in over their 60s and 70s, and them getting used to new technologies and everything else.
Bro,
it's the biggest headache. It's the biggest headache, bro. And I feel sorry for the staff who work there as well because they want to help some of these people. But
and also you've got to basically stuff here. I don't know if you've seen it, but you've got to basically download your ticket every match day now. So it's like
2 hours
people
before,
are there
2 hours before the match.
Does it expire after a certain time as well?
Yeah, 2 hours. You have to do. You can only let you do it 2 hours before the game.
Yeah, so you got to download it. If you don't download it, so everyone's there faffing around, downloading it, and it's like, yo, man, just give us the season cards, bro, and then you scan it. It's easier.
Yeah.
It's what it is, my people. But yeah, people, we'll be back next week for Mandem Talk. Hopefully, we keep saying it, guys. When
do we play again?
Tomorrow.
Friday, 5:00, I think it is. We play Rosenberg.
Yeah, tomorrow. They're gonna play. They're taking what's his name to play some minutes. JJ Gabriel.
JJ. So let's see, man. Let's see what JJ can do, man. I don't know if he'll play games just for more experience in it. So we'll see, man. People, love, like, guidance, and there's been another brilliant episode of the Mandem Talk. We're out. Peace. Take care.